Yo, tits up, Shades here. You know you can interact with BACC Talk. You can email us at backtalkus@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook. The official page is BACC Talk. The fan group is the Backpack Fan Page. Also tweet at us at BACC Talk. Now enjoy the show.
And now, get ready for some idiots talking about shit. Here is Justin, Tony, Destin, Andy. It's BACC Talk.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of BACC Talk. I'm Andy Shades. With me, I got three idiots. It's Halloween. Justin's over there playing piano already, so we're gonna throw it to him right now. But before that, tits up, bitches. Yeah, fucking strip club.
Tits up.
Tits up.
So, Justin, what's been going on with you?
Oh,
week?
nothing much. Just got my gigs, played some tunes. I didn't go to any strip clubs. They're bad for society, so I didn't do that at all. I didn't look at any porno. I didn't think about touching myself. I just did my gigs, and then I got the more gigs this week. So if you want to go to Gloucester, you can come see me in Gloucester. But hey, the Phillies win. So we got the Phillies.
What are you talking about the Phillies? You don't even know anything about sports.
But I live in Philadelphia, and my mom's got a chipmunk who's a Philly fan.
Good deal. All right, Dustin, or should I say Pinhead, what's going on with you this week?
Not much. How about you guys? Just chilling out, ready for Halloween. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like some of us are ready.
All right, good deal. Tony, you aren't saying much over there. How was your week?
It was okay. Normal stuff. Didn't really do too much. You know how it is. I got a fest set up, though, as you see my pumpkin and my spider webs.
Oh, yeah. You gonna fuck that later?
I don't know. It's pretty big. It might be rough.
So why do I feel, I know the music industry just, you love to do it and it brings you down and stuff, but why does it look like Tony's in a Japanese or Chinese movie?
Oh, I got it.
Know. It might be the internet. It might just be, like a delay or something. Oh no, Godzilla.
Tony, your internet sucks more dick than my fucking fantasy team this week. Or maybe not. I didn't keep track of who won and lost.
No, I lost. I did lose. But I should do that. I should lose because I don't know nothing about football. So I did lose. Jalen Hurts is the only player I have on my entire team that can do anything, and he didn't play this week. So I lost as usual because I should. The Jersey person's team sucks.
Yeah, and you lost to Tony of all people. I mean, he's like the losingest, he's like the never win. So, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel really happy for Tony for winning. I'm always happy for the other person when they win. I don't really care about winning too much. I don't have a competitive bone in my body unless I get a boner.
Do you want one?
No, because that's bad for society.
Well, let me tell you something, Dustin. I'm pissed off this week. I don't have a piano, though, because I'm Andy. I'm pissed off. I can't.
I mean,
It lasted a while.
so we're talking. I win. All I gotta say is, I won. So that means I am all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, but you beat Justin's team. I mean, you really have to have the bag of chips.
Fucking chips.
Tony, you have morphed.
Yeah.
Tony, are you going to eat yourself?
No.
So welcome everybody to the show. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, what about the people only listening, not watching?
For the people who did not catch this on the YouTube, Justin's been doing a phenomenal job putting some videos together. We'll get a short put together, get it up on the Facebook page. Let you see it.
For sure.
It was absolutely hilarious. Justin obviously playing me. Tony had a sit-in for him, mouthing his words, which made it look like he was in a kung fu movie. Dustin as Pinhead, and of course myself. I think I deserve an Academy Award for playing for my part in playing Justin.
And so, I am now going to go to therapy.
You had to prepare really hard to play Justin, didn't you?
You? How do you think I feel? I walked home today. I came in the door and that's what I seen. Her sitting on the couch in that.
So this was her idea.
Yeah,
So we should probably inform everybody that your doppelganger. You came home to a doppelganger, basically.
I did. I came home and they broke in. They were sitting on my couch.
And so she was just sitting there on the couch, and she said, "Hey, want to fuck yourself?"
Yeah.
That's great though. If like your girlfriend or wife doesn't necessarily fuck you as much, because you take any, and then she's like, "No, I was just kidding." Like, fuck you.
Or if she ever tells you to go, if she ever tells you again to go fuck yourself, just tell her to go dress up.
You still got that makeup? Yeah. I want to say that we haven't talked about Dustin's other part of his costume there. I want to know about that. He's got some belts or a belt there. So.
It's the World Heavyweight Championship belt. Andy's got one too, I think.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got a. But I have a real belt.
This is real.
Oh,
what, like one to hold your pants up? That's what
I have
call a
one.
real belt.
I have one that I've actually won.
Oh really?
I didn't win this. I bought this.
Cool. It's still nice.
But maybe Logan Paul will come and fight me now. I got a belt to defend.
Holy shit! Yes, you two are the fighters, and you both have belts to take. That should be part of it.
So yes, I do have a belt that
Andy
won.
Andy, if the Paul brother that you fight does indeed beat you, are you willing to give that to him?
I mean, if he wants the race car belt, he can come fight me for it. I'm good for it.
Well, you got to fight for something other than you want to pummel how fucking annoying they are.
Yeah, I'm just fighting to punch his face in.
So we're dressed as Halloween, obviously. So I think we're all want to talk about Halloween shit, right?
Yeah, kind of. I guess. Not much going on this
Anybody
week.
have any?
Hey, we got an email.
We do have an email. We have an email.
Oh, cool.
So now I'm not sure if that's like a sexual contraption or what.
Yeah, Dustin was wearing it around his neck.
Didn't the Miz used to do that? Somebody used to do that.
Doesn't one of the girls on Damage Control do it now? No, the Miz wore it like this.
It's almost like it just it has Flavor Flav vibes for some reason when you do it like that. Like you have this oversized thing like in the wrong place.
So you guys are going to have to explain some shit to me. Because obviously not being here last week.
We missed you, by the way, last week.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, I was dying.
Now we see a different corner of your house as you come back, so
Yeah.
kind of weird. It's like like a little.
Well,
bit
I didn't have time to put the cat shitting behind me. So that was kind of the plan. But the email, so you're going to have to explain some of this stuff to me in the email. My parents still have a home phone landline, and the number same since I was young. So I guess you guys were talking about old telephone lines.
Well, it's like do you have a landline?
No.
No.
Yes. Well, I have a landline phone number.
But you don't have a phone.
Because it came
But
with
I don't
the
have a
package.
phone. Yeah, because it came with the Comcast package.
It's crazy they're still doing that. I mean, we changed ours like a year ago, and they were still saying, like, you can't have it without the phone. Like, what the fuck? What a fucking antiquated thing. Like, they're still selling. That's why people still have phones, because they're still selling them as a package.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably has something to do with them wanting to sell your phone number to advertisers.
Probably.
Yep.
Good luck. Good luck. I don't even have anything coming out of the wall to connect it, so.
But if nobody's plugging in their phones, then what's the damn difference? But I have seen before, because somebody knows our phone number, even though I don't. I have seen on my TV before that I had an incoming call.
What are you supposed to do? Can you answer it on the TV?
I don't think so.
No, it rang into your TV, so you know you have a phone call coming to bother you.
So,
Yeah.
hey, motherfucker, go hook up your phone to get this call.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that was
no
it.
thanks.
So somebody knows my phone number, and it's not me. It has been a long time, but yes, I have heard of the Pen 15 Club.
Yeah, I brought that up.
Andy's a member.
Andy, you grew up around here. You remember Pen 15, right?
No.
Sounds like something you would invent.
What is it?
Basically, if I came up to you in middle school, and said, "Hey, Andy, we're all in a club right here. Me, John, whatever. You want to be in it?" And you said, "Yeah, it's called the Pen 15 Club. What do I have to do?" Like, well, you just have to write Pen 15 on you. If you write it on your face, you're really cool. If you write it on your hand, you're cool enough. So ultimately, you try to write Pen 15 on somebody, and Pen 15 looks like penis. So that's the joke.
Oh,
you
yes,
haven't
it does
heard
sound like something I would have invented.
Exactly.
And definitely now do realize why nobody actually tried it on me. So, yeah. If I'm not afraid to fight the Paul boys, I don't think that would have been a good idea for somebody to try on me.
Well, let's say once you wrote penis on the Paul brothers' hands, they'd still be like, "Awesome!"
Well, yeah, they'd be like, "Good penis!" It'd be,
Can you write it on my
happy.
butt?
That'd be the most penis they've ever seen on their bodies.
Well, we don't know that, but probably. They have small dick energy.
All right, so depending on the dollar amount that I find, small amount I will keep. Anything close or over 100, I will put an effort into finding the owner.
Yeah, we
Talking
were
about
talking
if you
about.
found money on the full ground, would you return it?
To who?
Exactly.
The owner.
Who the fuck owns it?
We don't know.
Okay, Dustin, every time you find money on the ground, I lost it.
Exactly.
Well, no,
That's
like
what- that's what we got to.
if
Yeah.
like you saw where it came from, would you put it back? Would you give it back?
Like if you saw somebody walking into Wawa and they dropped it, would you wait till they got far enough away and take it?
If I saw somebody drop it, and I've done this before, I'd say, "Hey, sir, ma'am, you drop money." Like, I would tell them.
Right.
But
Right.
this according to the email, put more effort into finding the owner. I'm not putting any effort into finding the owner if I don't know where it came from.
What
Right.
if you walked into Wawa, you didn't see who dropped it, and then there was this old lady who had nothing together, and it seems like she dropped it? Would you maybe go up to her and say, are you missing $20? Because that actually happened to me one time. I found money, and I went into the store, and there was this lady that was just like all over the place, and I was like, she probably dropped that money because she's just insanely like too old and not with it. And I didn't say anything, but I was like, it probably was hers. So I forgot to tell you that story last week.
Yeah.
Would you do something like that?
No, if I don't, because again, somebody walked up to me and was like, "Hey, you drop $100 bill?" Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No
See,
hesitation.
I would not. I would not. I would think.
You learned a lot in church.
Yeah.
I learned about vagina. You learned about giving people their money back, or giving half of your money to the church. One or the other. That's what you learned.
So, since he is being ethical here, let's ask an ethical question then, okay? So, you find a $100 bill, and you see somebody, you know, and you think they might have dropped it. You pull a 20 out of your wallet and say, hey, did you drop a 20? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, that is mine. Then you're going to be like, see? He's being shady. Would you do something like that? 'Cause I would. Keep it 100.
Yeah, I don't think that's like Machiavellian. I think that, like, you know what? Not only am I going to ask him if it's his, I'm going to ask him if a different bill is his to see how much of a motherfucker he is.
But how much
a profit, or you're making $100 profit? Either way, you're making.
How much of a mark are you if you found money, thought it was somebody's, don't know for a fact, and walked up to him and were like, hey, I found, or did you drop money? And they were like, oh yeah, I did. And they didn't. You're just a fucking mark.
Yeah. Well, then I guess the amount because there's con people everywhere. I guess you hope you don't get like taken for everything, but you know they're everywhere. And if it's a difference of $20 or not, it's like I'm not really gonna worry about it. But we were just saying, like, if you lost money, because I told you in an earlier podcast that I sort of got fired from Blockbuster because I was involved with the girl that found the 50 and somebody later came in and claimed it. And they found out that she lied and then furthermore lied about how I said to keep it so we can split it. And if she dares give it back, then that's 25 out of my pocket, which never happened at all. So then we said, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm just going to wake up one day and go into every, like, store and just, like, go, anybody find money? Anybody find money? For that guy to go into Blockbuster and be like, I lost the 50. Did you guys happen to find it? Yeah, you know? Like, so, you could just make so much money. Like,
so, okay, so on that topic, or sticking close to the topic, how much trust or faith do you have in the people, because this happens at every single one of them, standing outside fucking Walmart parking lots, begging for money. It's at every Walmart across the country. Mm-hmm. Begging for money with a sign up that, you know, half of them are veterans. Half of them, you know, God bless you, anything will help. Like, these are the signs they have up.
Yeah, those people are con men, huh?
So, well, do you believe them? Would you give them money?
That's a fun thing. Before we get to Halloween, do you have any stories, particularly about maybe bums in the city, parking your car somewhere, what he's saying, like, or a song and dance? If somebody's trying to give you money in a parking lot saying they got to get back to their kid, or they got to catch a bus somewhere. You guys have stories like that?
I've had people ask for gas money at a gas station.
Mm-hmm. We were in Las Vegas years ago and hooked up with some people that we didn't know. We were having a few drinks with them, and we were walking like casino to casino, just kind of bullshit and having fun, just met random people. That's what we're like. You know, it was back before everybody was crazy. But anyway, we ran into this homeless person and all that, and I think it was me or Janelle. We just threw some change or whatever in there, and he goes, we got away, and he goes, do you really want to do that? And I'm like, why? He goes, we're going to go grab some beer. We're going to sit here, wait for him to go to his car. He went and got into a freaking Mercedes. It was like an eye-opening experience, you know?
And that's what I'm talking about. If you watch some of these at the Walmarts, they will park at the farthest corner of the building.
Yeah.
And then walk over. And how do they always have dogs?
I always feel bad for dogs of bums, less than I feel bad about the people.
But they all have dogs.
Right.
And you know what I always look at? Their shoes. And half of their shoes are nicer than the ones on my feet.
Yep.
Well, hopefully, because you're going to Walmart. You don't want to wear nice shoes to Walmart. They don't fucking deserve.
The other thing is, like, if they're holding up a sign, need food or whatever, and if you go in and buy food and bring it out to them, if they turn it down, you know it's a scam too.
Yeah, of course.
Because I've done that. I've actually went in and bought food for somebody, and they actually took it gracefully. Then that to me, that feels like it's more legit. But if they turn it down, they just want the money.
But they're making more money.
Tony.
They're making more money,
Yep.
and not claiming a dime of it than we're all making, probably.
Why do you think that person in Las Vegas was driving a Mercedes or a BMW, whatever the heck it was? Nice car. It was dark out. We all were pretty drunk at this point, but that's what you do in Vegas.
I mean, at some point, it's okay for them to be whatever. Like I said, if I'm being taken for like $20 or less, it's like, oh, well, yeah, I got scammed or whatever. But like, I mean, more power to them. I mean, if that's how they want to make a living or come across other people, that's fine. But never twice if I see the same person. And I have seen the same person at like Wawa, like pulling something on somebody else.
Right.
That's always fun.
See, we don't have it around here probably as much as you guys do in the bigger towns or bigger areas. We're in rural. We don't see it as much.
Oh, we have it all over the place.
Unless if we go to a bigger town. I mean,
it's terrible around us. Anyway, so that was that part. Cartoons I watched as a kid: Franklin the Little Turtle, Care Bears, My Little Pony, and Muppet Babies.
So this is a girl, obviously.
obviously.
The cartoon character Arthur is an aardvark.
It's Brad.
It's Brad.
I love Mickey.
And she's got a question. With Halloween being next week, maybe you guys could do a scary movie segment or talk about your best, worst Halloween costume. And that is from our lovely Titmaster.
Nice.
Thank you, Titmaster.
Good email. I will mail this to you.
She did send one, an email that I didn't get read last week because I was not here. Actually signed by the Titmaster, so I thought that was cool.
I think at this point she's now known as the Titmaster General. That's
yes. So is she like the judge of all tits?
Yeah, and other things. Yeah, she's a Titmaster General.
Okay.
She's got like an asterisk now.
So when we do our strip club show, she has to be there to judge the tits.
Yeah, she'll be like.
She should be there to judge the tits that night.
She'll be too floppy.
So, well, I want to get into one thing before we get into this Halloween stuff because I'll be basically like Justin when we talk about wrestling or sports or any other topic that doesn't have to do with a keyboard. When it comes to Halloween. So, get this out of the way. I want to give a shout out to a couple guys out there. Don't want to give away what's coming up, but do a little searching, guys. Go on YouTube and search Developmentally Speaking, especially if you're a wrestling fan. They actually just put out a brand new episode today. They go throughout the old school, the guys that are kind of on the underground and the developmental kind of stages, and talk to like old wrestlers. They do interviews with old wrestlers and talk to them about, developmental wrestling and stuff like that. And just some fun stories, funny things, whatever. So I want to give a shout out to them, and I want you guys to go on there and check them out at Developmentally Speaking on YouTube. Give them a subscribe. Find them on Facebook. Give them a like, that kind of stuff. They had a live Q&A last week, and I jumped on it, and I was watching and whatever. And come to find out, I just put them over, but come to find out they are fans of Jim Cornette.
Ugh. I mean, oh.
Yeah. So I'm like,
maybe think twice about what you said about subscribing.
Yeah, I want you guys to go subscribe and listen to what they talk about, and you tell me if between the two of them they have one brain. Okay. So definitely subscribe, because that way you're going to get notifications of new stuff. But you can tell me if between the two of them, they have one brain. Because I was trying to help them out, being a nice guy that I am, you know. I'm always a nice guy. Everybody fucking knows that. But I was sharing their stream, and all of a sudden a bunch of people start coming in off my shares, right? They went from, I don't know, single digit people on at the moment to well into the double digits.
Check you out.
And while they're doing this, while these people are coming in, that's when you want to give your content, right? When you got new people showing up, you got to give them something. Well, one of them at that point in time, as everybody was coming in, was giving a tour of their podcast studio. And as they were giving the tour, well, just showing like what they put up, the decorations they put up.
Like they do it together, they don't do it over this like we do.
Yeah. So they're in one location, right? And so they're doing this, and I'm watching these numbers drop as they're doing the tour.
Here's where we take a shit.
The podcast studio.
Tony, what the fuck, man? Walk us around your house, man. What are you doing wrong over there? Come on.
So
No, I'm sorry.
we they come back, and I'm like, hey, you had a bunch of people come on. They left as you were doing a tour of the shed.
Guys, I was doing that months ago, all right? I was like, here's that part, there's that part.
Yeah. I mean, so Justin, you can speak on this. You podcasted from the shed.
Uh-huh.
So, how did you think we need to go back to your podcast, maybe to your shed, do a tour?
Fuck no. I hate cribs. So
So
I hate that fucking show. I hate any of that. No. Stay out of my space. This is how much you're seeing. That's it.
A little different with us. We're like recorded. They can just fast forward through looking at his shed.
yeah, we're all in our spaces and wherever we are, where we like to record, right? But they've got a pod shed, I assume.
Maybe if you say it 7 more times, I won't laugh when you say it. I love sheds, dude. I've done a lot of stuff in sheds, man. They're great, but like I wouldn't tour the fuck. Here's the stuff I use to mail out stuff on eBay.
So here's the better part. Here's the better part
my
of
hammer.
Here's the best part of the pod shed. Okay.
We'll get
Wait a
that
minute.
too.
Is it too late to rename our show Podshed? Because it's so close to pod shit. You know what I'm saying?
So anyway, I said something about the pod shed.
I'm going to eat a bean. All right? If I laugh again at Podshed, I'm eating a bean, okay?
Okay.
And there's the added bonus of I picked the box up like this earlier, and they've all been on the floor now. So
Sweet.
So there's going to be a carpet taste, and not in a good way.
So I said the thing, and they're like, one of the guys got off, and it's not a shed. It's not a shed. We're not in a shed. I'm like, sure shit looks like a pod shed to me.
We're in a garage.
That's where they said they're in the garage.
My fucking God.
So then he continues.
He
continues to tell me it's the garage, and then of course, then we not only had to have a second tour of the pod shed.
Beans.
But he also had to open the door of the pod shed and show me the car that was on the other side of the pod shed.
He's like, you didn't even see the best feature. Look at that. Look at that big door opening.
I think these guys are cool. They got a lot of insight. They are actually they have experience in the wrestling industry, but they record from a podshed. Plain and simple. Just so.
That's
Any
a
thoughts?
garage,
Any thoughts on a pod? Like, should we build a podshed?
Definitely.
For the one show a year, we all get together.
We need a pod shed for that.
We need a podcast for that.
I mean, you guys could come to mine if you want. There's already one here. I need to clean it out anyway, so.
And he's got the soundboard and everything to make it work, so we're good. Yeah, we'll do that.
So what would you put in your podshed?
Well, the only reason I was out there was so I could smoke cigarettes while we did this. Because I was a lot more addicted to it than I am now. So I don't really know. There's at least 2 chairs out there. Like, nothing, I didn't bring anything out there for podcasting. So, yeah, whatever you guys want. A little cooler. Because other than that, there's nothing cool about being in a podshed or a garage.
So obviously we're doing this in the summer because it could get cold if we get too late in the year.
Listen, these guys are into wrestling, so obviously they can take their balls being busted, which we've been doing. But, like, it's not about the fact that they're in a shed. It's about that they toured it, I think, is what my issue is, Like, I don't need to, like, I don't think any of us want to, like, talk about, like, oh, you guys, like, let me show everybody at home, like, fucking the rest of my...
Now, I will give you that. I will get, like, speaking on that, they put effort, real effort into the decoration of their shed.
Of their studio.
Their pod shed.
Their garage.
Podshed studio.
Yes. They put real effort into, like, there's a bunch of wrestling stuff up. There's, like, good lighting on the backgrounds and stuff. Like, you just don't see the back of my house. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
They put real effort into what they got. So I get it. They wanted to show it off. Probably not the best time to show it off when you have new viewers showing up. But it's not my show.
Yeah, well, speaking on that, I'm going to go tour my bathroom real quick. And I'll tell you about it when I get back because you guys don't have to, like, really see it.
He's going to prepare for the bean eating.
Yeah, I do have to eat a bean because I did laugh again. And it was either going to be I eat a bean or we start showing you guys, like, our where we live when we do the podcast. Which we should do next week, Yeah. When we don't have anything to talk about, we will tour our own houses and where we're doing this from.
We will tour our bathrooms.
Yes. But,
Good thing I'll have a new room next week.
Hey, you'll have a new room?
Well, it's new to me. It's upstairs. I'll be moving upstairs. My wife's kicking me out of the main floor.
Oh, cool. That's exciting. That is exciting. Are you going to, like, do up the room and all, or are you just kind of move into a spot?
Oh, that's pretty much dude up already.
Okay.
So are we then getting a tour of your pod cave?
Yeah, once I get it fixed up, right?
Now that would have been better if they just built a pod cave.
A pod cave, yeah, a cave
But
upstairs.
they went outside of the house into the pod shed.
Why do you need a word other than pod, first of all? It's a pod. It's a pod. A pod is a thing. Fucking,
It's
what's
a
his
pod
name?
garage now. It's a pod
Jeff-
garage.
Jeff Goldblum went into a pod in The Fly. Okay. So it's just pod. Welcome to the pod where we cast from. Anyway, I'm gonna go pee.
So,
Watch out
Tony,
for
what
zombies.
would, if you had a pod shed, what would you put in your pod shed?
Email.
I don't know. You would have to put, like, sports stuff out there, since that's what we talk about. I'd have to have a fridge, Mountain Dew, and some Monsters. So, yeah, Doritos, and you gotta make it look good. Just like if you're right now, look, I have the background here with the pumpkin and the spider web. So, yeah, see?
See, you did have, like, sometimes, I guess you do have a pod garage.
I do, yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Coming to
He's kind of like our.
from my
he's kinda
pod
like
garage. Yes.
He's kind of our moving person. Never know where he's coming live.
Okay. Dustin, if you had a pod shed, what would you put in your pod shed?
I'd be like what Tony said. I have sports. I put some wrestling memorabilia. I put my sports memorabilia up mainly, but like my favorite teams and stuff like that. But I mean, anything like if we were talking on a certain subject that week and I had the stuff, I might redecorate the background for that topic. You know, like if we were talking about baseball, make sure there's baseball behind me, football, whatever, wrestling, or do a mix of everything, and then people can guess what we're going to talk about. You know. I mean, I guess that it all depends on what you're talking about and all that. Like, you know, wait, I didn't get to see the show. You tagged us in it, but I was busy doing other things, and I'm gonna go back and recatch it. But sounds like you said they had a pretty good background and everything. It looked pretty cool. It's just why you're touring it when you're in your live session. Do that in a video.
Well, there's a tip for the developmentally speaking guys. Do your shed tour as a one-off video. Yes, especially in a live situation, right? Like, I don't know that that's a thing you want to do is to do a tour during a live session. But you know, hey, not my show, right? But
I will be checking them out. That's for sure.
But they do like Jim Cornette, so.
Yeah, that's a problem. Anything else? Anything else you would put in your pod shed there, Justin? Now that you took a piss.
Cats.
Yeah, cats. This cat would probably go. Any cat I could find, any picture of a cat.
I'm more curious about ET back there.
My grandma, R.I.P. She made this.
Oh, cool.
At one point, so.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why you guys don't know how to put together a fucking pod shed. And, like, since these guys have a fucking pod shed, they don't know how to put together a pod shed either. They put together, like, a studio in the shed for the pod shed.
Oh,
but,
I'm
like,
sorry. Did I mention I'm going to have titties in there? Sorry, is that what you would have?
No. I mean, the titties will come. You have to put the shit that will attract the titties. You have to have the stripper pole.
Yeah.
I can milk
stripper
anything.
pole. Yeah. if you build a pole, they will dance.
Yes. So
yes.
the pod shed has to have a stripper pole, right? You have to have the big drink refrigerator.
You might as well just set up a whole bar and have a full bore tap system.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to have a full bar. You know, liquor. You know, top shelf liquor, beer in the fridge, wine coolers for Justin.
Or like hard lemonade.
Mountain Dew on tap for Tony, and the stripper pole, right? And then you might build like a closet diamond room for when the strippers do come for the pole. That you have your now diamond room.
I thought it was a champagne room.
Whatever the fuck you want to call it.
We're in a shed. What do you care if you call it what you call it? It's just a
Right?
corner in a room. You can go get your willy wank.
It's just our fucking pod shed, dude.
There's the willy wank corner over there.
I call it whatever I want, my pod shed. So,
you know what? I would have Wi-Fi extender. That's the first thing you need.
yeah, well, yeah, obviously you have to have the equipment, but I'm talking about experience. You have to have the stripper pole. You have to have the lounge area, the bar. You know, that way the people or the
sanitizer.
strippers, the hookers, the whatever you want to call them, can hang out in the pod shed while I'm doing the podcast.
Yo, fucking, you know what I just thought? You could now say, like, I just, like, you know, like us, we like set the camera up, or it's connected to our computer, it's built in or whatever. You can build that from the ground up now with Shed, and you can put the cameras like where you would want your views from at any given time. That would be fucking cool. I would do that. I would get all technical, you know, with that, instead of like having to just go, okay, it's podcast time, let me put that up there. Yeah. You just hit a switch and everything comes on. There's Andy's view, there's my view, there's my dick, you know, getting wanked in the willy wank corner.
Yeah, so definitely the The Podshed is something down the line I think we need to look at. Building the perfect Podshed.
Weed.
I mean, it depends on
Forgot
where
the
we
weed.
put it.
Yeah. Well, in Jersey, yeah, weed.
Yeah, you can't put it in Indiana.
No, you guys.
We're putting it in Jersey, I guess.
I won't offend you guys with my smoking though. Like you won't if it's not your thing, then you won't even know it exists.
We all smoke.
Oh no, weed I meant.
So anyway, that is my Podshed story. Check out Developmentally Speaking. Check out their videos. Go on their Facebook page, and just when you find their Facebook page, Developmentally Speaking, and just ask them. Be like, hey, got any extra pictures of the Podshed?
And tell them BACC Talk sent you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch the one you linked that you shared with us just because I want to see the fucking. So when we do a tour, we know how to do it.
Yes. Yeah. So
Andy, I'm getting as much as I can out of this here podcast, but if I can just see like some more of your papers to the left of you,
yes.
then I would really. Oh, dude! Oh my God! That's how you do it.
That's
how they do it.
There you go. So there's two screens and a light.
Wow.
This is how it works, folks.
Show me again.
I'm kind of curious why he has a tape measure sitting there.
Because I was actually doing some other work this week with I had to make some mugs and some koozies for some prizes for an event, so I had to make sure I had the correct measurements. But
Well, he sent us a picture of them. I think they turned out really good.
yeah.
Yeah, good job, man. I'm gonna have to send you a bunch of stuff I want you to make, and I'll send you a bunch of money to do it. Because I looked into getting into the t-shirt business, and it's like, fuck that. How long? I don't know if we've talked off the air or on the air before, as it were. But how long have you been doing that? How long ago did you get all the stuff to do it?
It's been over a year, maybe 2 years.
How long?
Probably going to.
Yeah, how long did it take you to get used to it? Did you have some botched stuff? Did it take a while?
Oh yeah, I got shirts I wear around the house all the time that were supposed to go somewhere else.
Oh, that one did turn out. That's not centered. Yeah. That's upside down. How did that happen?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I if we want to talk about this for half a minute, we don't want to bore people, but I do two types of printing with merch, so shirts and mugs and koozies and all that.
Can you give us a tour?
Yeah, sure.
Next week.
But in fact, right here is a mug waiting to be made. Something.
Nice.
But yeah, so I do vinyl. I do some vinyl on shirts, and I also do sublimation on shirts and on mugs and stuff like that. So the thing with where I really screwed up my biggest learning curve was forgetting that after I made my design, you have to reverse your design for the sublimation. Otherwise, you're going to print it or you're going to put it on the shit, and then it's going to be backwards. So
like this is.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of t-shirts that have been printed backwards, and coffee mugs, and
Well,
that's just growing pains.
It's really good if you're coming up behind somebody that can see behind them, like they have a mirror, and they see you, and then they read what the shirt should say. But other than that, Well, you know what I love going back to this just for a second, only to bring up what I can't stand is they'll have a girl or somebody look at me, here's the picture of me on Tuesday, sad or happy or whatever, but their shirt's backwards and it has writing on it, so they put so much into this picture, but we're reading your fucking backwards shirt. I can't stand that stuff. It's I don't know, just something stupid. But I really need to see. I really need to see a tour of your t-shirt situation.
There it is.
That's how he does it. Whoa! I feel like I peeked behind the curtain. Oh my god! All right.
That's the whole business right there.
Good job.
I digitally print all day for my daily job.
Oh, you do?
No.
Cool. I would love to get into that.
Yeah, so
it's like-
I'm sure that's boring people, but yeah.
Well, t-shirts come from
That's-
somewhere.
That's the shit there.
Well, and that's
So,
how t-shirts are made. Anyway.
The last thing I want to say is National League fucking champions.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
I can still hear people
Philadelphia
cheering.
Phillies. Oh my god, dude! Talking about making an old man fucking want to cry. Like,
So they won the National League. What are you going to do when win/if they win the World Series?
I'm going to Philly.
Are you going to actually do a game?
I'm going.
No,
to
I'm going to the parade.
I would too if it was my team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay.
I hope-
I'm gonna stay at Justin's house and go to the parade.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to link up if and when you do that. So
When is the World Series pitch? Our first pitch? What's the first game?
Friday night.
Friday night. Is that in Philly or in Houston?
In Houston. Start off in Houston.
and I have a gig set. This is where it's fun for musicians when the local team does really well because they kind of like just go fuck you. You're not coming in. So like, I have a couple gigs. I have a couple gigs coming up, and they're just pretty much like considered like, you know, it'd be like nice to keep me there, but I don't see it happening. I don't
Or
see
you're
why.
coming in playing background
What they
noise.
need is they need somebody there after the game for all the
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
want to party and to play some music so people can, you know, sing along and dance and whatever. That'll keep the people in the bar because they're going to stick around and party.
Or if they lose, God forbid, you know, that it gets morose around here, as you can imagine it would anywhere, like where people lose and then they feel like they lost and they're like, fuck man, babe, let's just go, get your coat, we're leaving. You know, it's a lot different than when they win.
Yeah. So I got to ask, since I last time the Phillies won the World Series, I was there. I was in Philly or lived there. So I knew what the feel was like. But so last night when they won, or yesterday afternoon, evening, when they won and clinched it, what was going on in Philly? Because I haven't seen a lot of news. I know they greased the poles, but people still climbed them.
Yeah. I don't think anybody ate horse shit this year. I think that's more of less when the Eagles won kind of thing. You get a different.
That was
type
when the
of
Eagle
fan.
won.
Yeah, it's already a dangerous city. So, but maybe it's a little better if you're going in there when everybody's in a winning spirit. But I can't really tell you that. The house that I live in here is exploding with cheer because the game was being watched, and then when they won and they clinched it, it was exciting. Other than that, I don't really have any local, you know, advantage to tell you about.
So are you gonna tag along with me to the parade?
Dude, if you make it, yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't. Like that would be a fun reel, if not more, like just for that. So.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hold on. Now, just to warn you, you will see boobs probably.
Yes. Lots and
Not
lots
Andy's.
of boobs.
Not Andy's, right?
You never know. Shit.
Yeah. Shakira comes on.
gotta play
I
some
don't.
Shakira.
I can tell you this. I don't remember a whole lot of the last parade.
No boy.
But I do remember tits.
No, he remembers dicks.
There was lots of tits. There was multiple bars after the parade. It was also on Halloween. So
Wow.
yes, it was on Halloween. So the bars were packed with girls dressed as slutty devils or whatever. All partied up too because of the fucking parade. So it was fucking crazy.
It's a good mix of like celebration and Halloween. Obviously.
Yeah, in fact, I went to, I think, 2 bars in Gloucester.
Oh, really? Which ones?
Shalene's, I believe, was one of them.
Yeah, that's like Westville. But close
Yeah.
enough.
And Gypsies?
Gypsies. I don't think I know that one. I don't think you made it to Gloucester.
I think Gypsies is actually.
I don't think he made it to Gloucester.
Gypsies is actually in like Belmar, Runnymede area. I think.
Is it still Gypsies?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, who are they playing in the World Series?
Houston
Oh, you did say that, yeah. Okay. Not the Yankees, so that would have been fun though.
Houston, we have a problem.
They'll just bang their trash cans again.
Yeah, they're cheating motherfuckers. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they won a World Series by cheating.
Tell me about that. What do you mean? Is that alleged or?
No, they were caught.
Okay.
They were caught sign stealing. And so they were stealing the signs of the pitches and then relaying those pitches by banging on trash cans or blinking lights in the outfield to the batter so the batter knew what kind of pitch was coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't you just play the game?
Why'd they take steroids?
Teams still do it though. I mean, their teams always do it. Like I've seen teams with runners on second base, they'll put their hands up high. If the catcher's setting up high, they know the pitch is coming high.
Yeah.
We used to do it in Miami.
That's a lot different. That's a lot different than setting cameras and shit
Oh, way different. That's
on
not
the
part of it.
catcher to steal the sign of the pitch that's being relayed from the catcher to the pitcher, and have a camera zoomed in, and so that way you know it quick enough to be able to relay that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. To build an entire enterprise around cheating, like that's fucking sadistic. But
Oh, yeah.
like in your case, Dustin, if you happen to catch something or like whatever, I don't think it's like the same
Oh, yeah.
thing. But the one
Well,
thing
it's
about
not,
me is
but
like.
they still do it. It's just not as to that extent. I mean, there's a lot of work that went into what the Houston Astros did.
So there is
yeah.
there is a new product out this year that they're using between the catcher and the pitcher. So now the catcher, instead of laying down fingers between their legs to say fastball, curveball, whatever, some of them are choosing to use this device. And what it is on their wrist, and they have buttons. And the buttons select the pitch and then select the location. Those buttons relay into like a mini earpiece type thing under the hat of the pitcher and tells him what the pitch is. No more signs.
Yep.
Is that baseball in general or just for this World Series?
No, that's been started since the beginning of the year.
Oh.
Has that been in the major leagues or has that just been in the minors?
Oh no, they started this year was the first year in the majors.
Yep.
Wow. That must be fun, like having to be an athlete. And
But they're
having some
ruining
fucking
the
thing in
game.
your ear.
They're ruining the game because, so you got that until it fucks up, because I've seen games where it's fucked up and they go, what pitch? You're like, what pitch? And then they're going to test it in the minor leagues first, but this robotic umpire to call balls and strikes.
Yep.
And just if you watched any of the playoff games, like there was a lot of human error or whatever that went into balls and strikes in these National League and American League Championship Series. I mean, Justin, I'm sure you watched a lot of it with your family.
Mm-hmm.
And saw, the umpires making mistakes on pitches. And there was one they were talking about last night during the Yankees and Astros game where one of the catchers has honed his skill to be able, he's got a big mitt, but he has honed his skill to catch the ball in any part of his mitt to keep his glove in the strike zone, even though he might be catching it outside the strike zone. But the ump can't see that. The ump is seeing the mitt in the strike zone.
Yeah, catches are starting to do, like, if it's low, they have that flinch up as they catch it to make it look good too.
But
There's a lot
that
of tricks to
skill,
it.
and,
It is.
and that kind of stuff, parts and integral parts of the game would be lost putting in robotic umpires.
Well, and you look at like some of these good pitchers that, that umps give the zone to, it'd be like if you're a new pitcher coming in, you're not going to get the same calls that like Kershaw or, Scherzer. You're not going to get the borderline calls like that. You got to earn that. And now it's going to be, to me, I think it's going to hurt more veteran players than it's going to hurt the new guys coming in.
It's going to hurt pitching. The only way you're getting
kill it.
The only way you're getting a strike on a pitch outside the zone is a swing and a miss.
That ain't going to happen anymore. You're going to see walks go up like crazy.
You're going to see walks go way up, and you're going to see more bombs. Because pitchers or hitters are going to sit on everything in the zone and just tee off on these pitchers. There's no more fooling the batter.
Nope. Well, you still can. I mean, with curveballs and stuff like that, I mean, they drop so fast in the majors, but you're not going to get that bad call that's going to set somebody down, and that's going to take away from the game.
Well, no, you're not going to get, the fastball that's an inch and a half off the plate called a strike.
Nope.
Some umps will have a wide strike zone, or, the outside part of the plate is always, they give a little bit more or whatever. You're not going to have any of that.
Yep. Every ump's different.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's part of the skill of the pitcher, too. It's like, okay, I pitched with this ump 2 weeks ago. He was calling the outside corner, so you go after it. And, now he's calling the inside corner. Let's go. It's playing out the game. And now you're not going to have that.
No. So, anyway, want to touch on Phil's. Gotta give love to my Phil's. Next episode, we'll have 2 games down already, so we'll have to give an update there.
The game will be in Philly that night, right? Because when they start Friday,
that Monday there will be a game in Philly. Halloween.
Game 3.
Yes. And I did put my name in the lottery for tickets. Haven't heard that I've won that yet.
Speaking of lottery, we are still in it to win it. Here's my ticket. The back of it's all you're gonna see.
Yeah, well, we gotta win. I mean, 600 and something million tonight. We gotta win that
680.
one.
What's that divided by 4? Does anybody want to figure out the mathematics?
Well, you only get a
Yeah.
certain percentage of it. We probably would get like 350 million of it.
Yeah, I'm saying somebody figure out first the net or whatever you would call it, and then divide it by 4. I'd like to know because I need to start thinking about what I'm buying.
Well,
I'm
first
pretty
thing
sure
we're
I can
doing
still
is
buy
we're making the perfect pod shed.
Pod. Well, can we just call it a pod?
No,
Yeah,
it has to be a
perfect
pod
pod.
shed.
So the cash, it's 625 million. The cash value is 200 and let's say 300 million.
God damn.
Divide that by
So
4.
much. I never want to pay taxes after that again. They should give you a check mark. Be like, we've taken enough taxes from you as an individual. I mean, really. I guess a lot of rich people say that.
So who's doing the math? Tony?
I thought Tony was.
No.
Oh,
he's
fuck, man.
just searching his phone, I suppose. Like he has to
To me,
say a
it's-
fucking word. You know why he has to say a
What-
fucking word? Because we were talking about the Phillies being victorious, and his fucking Reds suck.
If I'm thinking right, I'm doing math in my head, which I suck at it. I think it's 75 million at first.
You are correct.
It's
Damn.
75 is 150. 2 of them is 300 million.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is not enough to do what I was going to do.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Building a strip club or what?
No, I think with 75 million, you can pretty much do anything, right? I mean, as long as you don't
Yeah.
need like 3 of everything.
Dude,
what kind of
so
car would
we
you
will
get?
build the pod shed and let other people record their podcasts from our pod shed.
And
Yes.
rent it out.
As long as they don't tour it.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
tours.
No tours.
No tours.
This isn't
No
fucking
tour.
cribs. And the only reason why you care about cribs, if you do, is because you like that person so much that you actually want to see where they live, which is still stupid. But
Well, yeah, like you're saying there. Yeah.
when you're like a podcast like that 4 people know about, like they don't give a fuck, you know. But like if it's like Tom Hanks doing a podcast, he's like, want to see my bedroom? Like maybe, because you know, there's gonna be some people that want to see Tom Hanks' bedroom. Like there was a fucking show called Cribs, for Christ's sake. The fuck, dude, the fuck. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you know why they do that though. That's because so everybody can dream about, you know, wanting to have that, you know, lifestyle or whatever. But like,
I don't fucking care.
So why is 70 million not enough?
Nah, I was just fucking around. Like
better.
My mind's eye, like I need $1 million. That's it. Like, and they'd be like, sure you don't want anything else? I'm like, no, I'm pretty good. Like, save a bunch of cats from dying. I have a few of them, and you know,
because
I don't even know like what car I would buy, what guitar I would want. Like, even though I'm into guitars, like it's not even like I would. I guess you get crazy once you have the money, which probably.
But think about that. At 70 million, right? You're how old? 40.
43.
So you could take $1 million a year salary, tax free, and you'll be dead before it runs out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's comforting. That's what I'll do. I don't know. I mean, obviously you take care of everything that's kind of like pressing on you in terms of like paranoia of what you need to pay for so that you don't die. But other than that, like you have a ton of stuff to just do for fun. Like you guys all, like we talked about this before, you guys all know, boom, what car are you going to get? You guys all can give me an answer in like a second.
Yeah, we all had our dream cars in an episode prior to this.
Yeah, I'd be getting a brand new Vet.
Yeah, see.
1969 Dodge Charger.
Tony, bigger skeleton.
35.
What's that?
What?
Nissan Skyline R35.
I don't think anybody in the world actually knows what the fuck that is.
Fast and the Furious, man. Fast and the Furious.
Oh.
Honestly, if I was going to pick a Fast and the Furious car, it would be the first movie, the green car that Paul Walker drives. The first car that blows up.
The Eclipse?
I would buy that Eclipse. I would make it just
that specific
like
one?
that.
Oh.
But see,
I could buy that one.
Therein lies it, right? Like you get 70 mil, and I think only Tony probably picked an over $100,000 vehicle.
Right.
Mine would
there's
definitely be.
legal in the US too, so
Mine would probably end up being over $100,000 by the time I got done with it. But
I mean, I think mine rolls off the line. I think somewhere around 75.
right.
That's without air conditioning and doors and stuff. I love how they get you on that. You know, starting at like that's a car like, you know, that still has the horn. Ooga.
No, I think the show. Last time I looked at it, and this is a couple years ago, but the showroom Vet was somewhere around 72, 75.
Hey, you're around the ballpark yet. I think it might be up to 80 now. But
Yeah.
And you're talking about how much money you have, like after the lottery, like you wouldn't even notice that gone.
No,
That's how ridiculously
Honestly, though,
rich you would be.
if you think about it, though, if you can go into that showroom Vet, like go into that dealership, a Vet dealership, and just walk in, I want that car. But we'll have to do a loan and all that stuff. No, I'm going to pay cash.
No, that's gotta be great. Like the
and here's the cash. And here's the thing, dude. I'm taking 10 grand off it right now.
I'm going to pay cash.
I would be yeah, money guns would go in there with his money gun, fucking flying money everywhere.
Pay cash everywhere.
Andy, I like what you're saying. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pay cash. I have 3 million times more than this money, but because I'm paying cash, you're gonna take 10 grand off the price.
You know,
as many times as people have been ripped off by car people,
Yeah.
you want to sell me a Vet right out of your showroom right now, cash dollars?
You want to go home early today? Yeah. Yeah.
I would go in there like a homeless guy or something like that, something that didn't look like money, and actually get the loan, and you leave there, they think they're going to be like, oh my God, we're going to get this car back. This guy lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then just walk back in there, you go, pay my loan off.
Dude, that's what I would do. I'd spend $1 million to look like a pauper and have this whole thing set up to go in there just to like fool everybody and thinking like I really do have that money.
with body cams and camera crews around you.
You know,
Yeah, like I
I
said,
don't even think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like the Pretty Woman thing when she goes in the first time. It's like, get out of here, hooker. Like, you can't afford anything.
Yeah.
And then she goes back in with that guy's money. She's like, no, fuck you. Like, I think everybody just wants that moment, you know. Who doesn't?
So, I don't.
Well, I think we've all had that spot where we've been kicked out of a place because no, you can't afford to be in here, or been around that, you know.
I hate going into places. Like, I'll look if I'm like, you know, if I go somewhere where there's a bunch of stores, like let's say the mall, or we have what do they call that? An outdoor shopping center. They call it outlets. Like, I'll look through the window and be like, if I'm gonna be the only one in that store, I don't want to go in.
Right.
Because I feel the pressure or something. Like, I can't pick up anything. They're going to want me to buy it. Like, nobody wants to fucking talk to you or give you the time of day. They just want you to buy something. I can't stand that.
Do you think it would cost $1 million to buy a waterfront piece of property, tear down whatever fucking house is on it, and build the ultimate Podshed, waterfront Podshed, all the bells and whistles? Would you think that'd be $1 million?
Depends how big the pod shed is.
I think it'd be more than that.
You think it'd be more than that?
Well, I mean,
Like I said,
how you did it, you know? Because fuck, what Tony Stewart sold selling his house for like fucking $3 million.
Have you seen fucking Tony Stewart's house?
Well, with his bowling alley and his fucking waterfall and his fucking maid's house that he had built off to the side.
Well, yeah, just the property. I mean, I have driven around the property. It takes you 15 minutes to drive around his property. And he has fences up. Tall fences around the whole property so nobody can climb his fences or whatever. And he's got like area just to fucking hunt.
Yeah, he has over like 100 some odd acres just there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I've driven past it, and I'm telling you, it's fucking like you can't see anything from the road. And his house. He actually modeled his house after a Bass Pro Shop. So you've got the river with the bridge and shit. Like, his house is basically a Bass Pro Shop, if you've ever been in one of those. So yeah, that's $3 million. We just want to get a waterfront property or 100 acres of fucking wooded land, and we can stick a ultimate pub shed in the middle of the fucking woods too. But like,
take us an hour to walk to it, but we'll do it.
Well, we'll have a paved road.
No, we won't have enough money for the paved road.
It just has to be a legal state. That's all I care about.
That's fine.
We'll be out in the middle of the woods. No one's gonna see.
But if we got 100 acres of wooded land, Justin, and we just made one road through it to the ultimate pod shed, I don't think you have a problem whether it's a legal state or not.
Well,
put a gate up so you have to type in a code to get in.
Those fuckers have helicopters.
Exactly. So I have aerial.
You know,
Not if we're in the woods. We'll put it in a wooded area.
We're just gonna build you a smoking room.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like one of those evaporate rooms where it's like you go in there right after, and it's like not even like you smoked in there.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like Sure, if you had enough money, you can make a state of the art, like Andy's smoking right now. You can make a state of the art room where like it just has to go somewhere and it doesn't even smell.
You know, Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg have those, so we'll just bring them in and they can hook you up.
Although I don't mind the smoke, like I'm into it. Like I want to live in it, you know. Like I'm still like I'm 43, but I'm not old enough to like, want to bask in like a big smoky room.
Turn the ventilation down a little bit for you then.
Yeah. Just keep getting high.
So
high
everybody
over and over again.
Everybody has to
Cheech and Chong that crap.
Everybody has to chip in $100,000 for our ultimate pod shed.
We can all have our own little quarters of the room of the
Yes,
of the
well,
shed.
you can have your own bedroom in it.
Can we play the game Four Corners once we're
You
in
could
it?
have your quote dressing room.
You guys ever play Four Corners as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
That's where, just in case people in Podshed land that are listening don't know, it's where you're in a basement, much like this one, and you pick a corner and things to throw, and you just try to hit each other in their own corners. And I guess you have like if you get hit 3 times, then you're out. It's kind of like dodgeball, but like in your own corner. I used to love that fucking game. Goddamn. That being said, what's your favorite costume you've ever had, and what's your worst costume you've ever had? Because it's Halloween. Want me to go first? Andy's like, Andy's like, God damn, I hate Halloween.
To be honest, my favorite costume has got to be Hellraiser. I mean,
yeah,
this thing's won me money. I got the whole get up, like the whole thing that he wears. The only thing I'm missing is the dang cube, and I'm not paying that much money for the cube. But if we win the lottery, it's probably one of the first things I'm buying. Is get his cube, Hellraiser's cube. You know, the worst one, I guess, I don't know if I really ever had. Like, I can't really think of one that I actually hated, to be honest.
That's what's good about Halloween, you know?
My worst costume has got to be that time when I was on a podcast and dressed up like Justin.
That's my favorite one.
I don't do Halloween. As you know, Justin, you and I went to church camps, right? And Halloween's a pagan holiday, and I'm just not into pagan girls.
Those are the crazy ones.
So you're into pagan guys.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm
You said pegging, right?
I'm into the Christian, the girls who, got forced to go to, Catholic school. I mean, look at my wife. She was a Catholic school girl. Like,
so you don't consider that a costume?
That's a uniform.
Yeah, but it's a get-up. It's a costume. Like would it still be? A French maid. Okay, they made that into a costume, but like people actually wore those like when they had to work.
Oh, there's Catholic schoolgirl costumes too.
Right, exactly. What do you think that comes from? Like perverted older men? Isn't it weird that like women dress up sexy just because the world is run by perverted men?
Has anybody dug through what the Catholic Church has done?
It's true. They don't care what the girls wear.
Maybe that's why.
What the guys
They
wear.
really don't care what the girls wear. It's all about making them. For some reason, they get turned on putting a boy in a altar boy
Giving him a candle light. Oh fuck yeah, it's so sexy. Yeah, you reached that candle. Andy, we had the acolyte, remember? You had to be like every once in a while.
Yes, we were on a schedule.
Yes.
I think we all ended up doing that at some point in our lives.
Yes.
I did not get raped by a pastor or otherwise, though. It was
No,
just bad
because you know
enough
why?
to
Because
have to-
our pastors were like married and had kids and shit.
Yeah, they're allowed to be normal and shoot their load, and
Yeah.
and stuff. That's a recipe for disaster if you don't let men get their nut off, like
Yeah.
by virtue of what they have to believe in. Like I have a feeling like every priest that gets up there that is like molested boys that dies, if there is a heaven, like the heaven, if they get there, they have like, the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why don't you bang girls? Like, I thought we couldn't. Be like, who the fuck told you that?
Well,
Why'd you have to eat fish on Friday? Well, you said. Well,
They're supposed to be in the likeness of God, or you give up your life for God. So the person you're supposedly banging is God, and
yikes.
yeah.
That's even worse. You just made it worse.
Well, that's how that's how it became.
You're giving me nightmares.
That's
Sounds like
how
Cartman.
that's how the whole thing became in bed. When like a girl or something starts screaming, "Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!"
Stop talking about your ex-boyfriend. Babe, I hate it when you talk about your ex-boyfriend when we're fucking. So on the first day, he created a light or whatever the fuck. He created something. He didn't create like dick wet for himself, like ever. Like what an idiot! I'm not following you. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you know how abnormal that makes you as a person? Like, look at anything. Look at any incel or somebody that snaps and kills a bunch of people. Like, they feel like people owe them something and they're not getting what they want. Like, you don't mean to tell me that's like not the same like feeling that creates like monsters? Like, how the fuck? Like, dude. Unless every priest gets involved because they like boys. But I don't think it's that.
Well, you know, another thing that came about with the and there are good priests out there, and so people don't cancel me because I'm bashing priests. Like Christina's, we'll get into this one in a minute. I got a story about a priest, but before, I guess the gay rights, the LGBT community rights, all this came up, right?
Oh, sorry, Andy. Notice we're the only ones willing to be around for this one.
Yeah,
They all bombastic.
They all left.
Look at me and your shit.
So, but before that, and before it was more, I guess, accepted, right? Because we did go through a phase in our younger hoods where, especially I guess us, where it wasn't really accepted when we were younger, right?
What's that? Homosexuality?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were still kind of like, you know, not like it is now, where like it's a celebration if you are. Mm-hmm. Certainly not. I mean, I would say that's a huge difference that I see.
So there was a thing with the Catholic priesthood too, where homosexuals could basically hide in the priesthood.
Ugh.
And that's where a lot of this came up with the boys, right? The young boys and the molestation and stuff, because you had and this is not again, I'm not knocking all priests and I'm not knocking people that are homosexual, but this was the case for some people. Homosexuals would hide because they didn't feel accepted in the world, or wouldn't be accepted by their families, but as a Catholic priest they were accepted or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's just and then it created this problem. And you're right. The whole thing, and the other part of it is, just telling a guy you can't fucking get your rocks off is just like, there's no natural thing about that whatsoever.
Yeah, and email us, ladies, and tell us that you also need to get your rocks off to be normal, because, I don't think it's right for anybody. I think it's
that's the other thing. Like nuns, like they're not getting their shit. Like what's going on with the nuns?
Are they jerking off and flicking the bean? Are we led to believe that they're not allowed to do that too?
Oh, flicking the bean is bad. Yeah.
Okay, so they're not jerking off and getting the poison out in any which way, shape, or form.
No.
The poison.
That's why they're pissed off all the time.
Yeah. Well, it sucks when there's no hereafter and they waste their fucking life not getting laid.
So I promised you a story about a priest. Christina's uncle was a Catholic priest. I say was because he is no longer a Catholic priest. I will also say you understood that he is an uncle. Okay? I will also tell you he is not related to her father or her mother. So here's a riddle. How does he become her uncle?
He's a boyfriend of another uncle? A husband of another uncle?
No.
Did he like get her in like a headlock and say uncle, say uncle?
No.
You guys figure this one out? Am I?
No.
I'm not being stupid on purpose. I'm like trying to think about it. Because I am an uncle, and I know how I got to be one.
Me too.
And
I mean, I would think it would have to be by marriage, so not blood uncle, but like he married,
this made Andy so uncomfortable. This made Andy so uncomfortable. He left his own story.
Mm-hmm.
He had to marry into the family somehow.
Yeah, I have to wonder though if fuck, I don't know. All right, go ahead. Tell me.
He was always called uncle when she was younger because he was a close family friend. Close family friend to her aunt. And he went into the priesthood because and here's another thing, like, right? We talk about maybe you're not accepted or maybe you're trying to make your parents proud or whatever. Because his parents wanted him to be a priest.
It's always a good reason to do something.
Yeah. So he went into the priesthood. Her aunt followed this guy for fucking years. We're like years.
Followed him?
But like chased
like he was
him.
Like she was a disciple?
No, like chased him.
Was into him.
Yeah, was into him. Into him before he went into the priesthood and while he was in the priesthood.
Is he a homosexual?
No.
Okay.
So, some years down the line, when they're in their 50s.
This is a long riddle, by the way.
They decided to bump uglies.
I've done that.
Well, he did. Her car was always at his priest house. Congregation started asking questions, and he said, "Yeah, we're fucking."
So he lived in like a little house next to the church.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
The parsonage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yep, we're fucking." They're like, "Okay, you can no longer be a practicing
pedophile priest.
Priest cannot no longer be a practicing priest. However, he was still considered a priest and still had to live the lifestyle of a priest. Like when they were bumping uglies, if they wanted to get married, couldn't. Not in the Catholic Church. Because he had to get the Vatican to release him of being a priest. Which he had to write letters to the Pope.
My God. To
get released, which took 2 years. For him to be no longer a priest. Even though he was now a no longer practicing priest. And so he had to go find a job. He was working as a manager at fucking Wawa. And then when he finally got released, they got married.
Good for them. Does this get worse?
No, so that's how he becomes the uncle. But they're not always what they are supposed to be.
Well, but
it's like being in jail once you're in. Like it's like the military.
Right. Is he devout, or did he kind of give up like the belief and everything?
They are still Catholics to this day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but if they wanted to get married in a Catholic church, he could not be a priest. And then there was still kind of an issue with getting married in the Catholic Church, but they got it done, and only they had to find a priest that would do it. It was just like.
So you have to imagine, he's a priest that got caught bumping uglies with a woman. There has to be ones that are also caught bumping uglies with women and are going through the same process or have, and then there have to be ones that are doing it and aren't getting caught, right? And these are the ones that aren't like pedophiles or whatever you would call them in terms of like when they develop feelings for whoever's around, like little boys, which is a huge step from just not having sex, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Like me personally, like when I wasn't getting laid by chicks, like I didn't think like there's some boys down the road. You know, like they're younger and easier to fool. Like it just wasn't a thing for me. Like what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like why? What? Like oh, I don't know.
So
And
what
it
did
seems
you
like,
think when you went through a dry spell? What did you think?
I don't know. You jerk off a lot. You know, you have a really good imagination. But above all, you don't want the idle hand syndrome. You want to find other things to do. So that's what I can recommend. But it's weird that the priests like do like the worst thing you would think of based on their beliefs, rather than just have sex with the person and hope not to get caught. That's all.
Yeah, and so it's just now I'm going to tell you the worst part of that entire story. We've heard of the 30-year-old virgin. According to her aunt, when they finally did it, that was her first time.
Oh my god! So she didn't even know he was bad.
I mean, like,
There's a silver lining.
yeah, that was her first time, like 50 years old.
Wow, she really like fucking kept the candle lit for him, huh? Imagine having cobwebs by the first time you take that thing out of the garage.
Like, I want to hear from a lady that thinks they can hold out 50 years.
I want to hear from ladies in general. Do they get crazed? Do they get sex crazed? Like, do you have to have it? Because it is a human thing, I think. You know, you could definitely make an argument. It's a human thing to have. I mean, they let people in jail have conjugal visits because who knows how many more fucking shankings would happen.
Right?
Just don't drop the soap.
Yeah, I don't think most people go to jail like wanting to fuck men. I just think that they're in jail, and that's what's there.
Yeah.
Tony, what did you do at a dry spell?
I mean,
You
you
waited
do
till I
it.
turned 15.
I mean, you do whatever you got to do. I mean,
Because I remember one of your dry spells. And I remember the recommendation I gave you to end your dry spell too.
what? Go to Vegas?
No.
Go to Vegas.
Become a priest?
Nope. I gave him the name of a lady. He ended his dry spell, I believe.
Oh, good job. Oh, you told him about a slut?
I told him about one that was into him.
Yeah,
I think she was into a lot of people.
Was she really into like not paying herself at Olive Garden?
Yeah, now I remember. So, but I mean, yeah, you do what you got to do. So unfortunately,
He doesn't even want to talk about that one.
hopefully you don't get into too many of those in your life. So yeah, you live and
He's
you
got
learn.
like a girlfriend, fiance, wife there. I mean,
Yeah, see,
you don't need to talk about other women. He wouldn't want her to talk about other men.
I got a fucking
What?
wife here.
I know, but you're not like specifically talking about going to bang like fucking Wiley Wilhelmina like when you were having a dry spell.
How did you know about that?
Wiley Wilhelmina.
everybody knows about Wiley.
Everybody on the Eastern Seaboard knows about her. I didn't know you guys.
I do want to hear about.
Here.
I'm like Justin though. I want to hear from women if they have like that sex crazed need where they have to have it at some point, like because it seems like married men, it certainly doesn't happen nearly as often as before you were married.
And I think also too, women will admit that they more or less have emotional cheats. That obviously the guy wants to get laid, but they get emotional support from people, and eventually they're like, I have to fuck them. But I think men cheat to get laid because they're not having enough sex with their wife, or they want strange. I mean that's something that is kind of ridiculous about marriage to begin with. Like I happen to know that guys like strange. Like
You happen to know that?
Yeah.
How many guys have come to you and asked you for your strange?
Yeah.
Not my strange. My strange is like really strange. But no, I don't have really strange. I just think that monogamy is kind of weird when you want to have sex with, like, you know, you want to have different experiences. Like, it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable and, you know, sexy and whatnot. But at the same time, you do it out of love, if you're correct. And the people that don't, they're like the sociopathic ones that, you know, do it for power, or, you know, they do it because the guy's paying for everything.
50 Shades of Grey.
Or that.
There's a lot of ways to spice it up if you're a married dude, or, you know, and you know, a lot of shit that, you know, you may have been with somebody 20 years and you finally did something different, unless it's some slut out there that will do anything to begin with, you know, like.
Andy's talking about getting that upside down pineapple out, I think.
No. No, I'm talking about, you know,
Yeah.
once in a while you check out the chocolate starfish or something.
Yeah. She opens up the A door.
Yeah. It's, becomes a thing.
Which, it's not my. I would never want to go anal, but it would just hurt me too much. But you know. But I also haven't been married or with somebody for so long to the point where you're at the spicing up stage. I mean, I definitely been in a relationship long enough where, like, you're like, you know, I know what sex is gonna be like with her, and, you know.
So I don't know how we got on this topic, but you're telling me you are against trying.
I'm gonna say, does he want to be putting it in, or does he not want his anal played with?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Well, I definitely don't want my anal played with.
All right, we got that door closed.
But I was making like a quick joke saying that the anal was coming at me, but no, I'm not interested one way or the other. But again, I haven't been kind of like landlocked in a situation where it's you know, that'd be something different. So
Right.
I can't really make that distinction. It's just not something I've been interested in yet.
Now, with that being a thing, if you're with a girl for, like, say, a month, right, and you're, you know, bumping uglies on the reg, and she goes, hey, stick it in my ass, and it's only been a month, are you like, woo, I'm going for it, or you like, hey, I might have, you know, got somebody who's a little bit on the...
I have had that situation, so... And I've also had the situation where the girl wanted to be strangled, and I was like, no. So I know I could, like, be like, no. I'm like, you know, it's going to be too much for us not to do this again. I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm not going to do that.
No handcuffs? No tying up?
No. I mean, come on. What? How much time do you fucking have? Like,
He's not married.
20? Like, how much time can you last? Honestly? Like, everybody's thinking like porno sex. Like, 5 minutes, all right?
Well, that's the thing. So we did have this conversation the other day, me and my wife. It came up. People going, you know, saying 2 hours on the first round. That is fucking horse shit. You're lying out your fucking ass.
Or get a life. You know, find a hobby.
Well, how could you not have got it done within that time frame? You're not good enough. If you're waiting to get her done before you do you,
and you're
saying just it took 2 not hours? Good enough if
Right.
it took 2 hours.
Now, 2 hours and she came 15 times. That's a different story, you know. But like 2 hours and then you got off, you know, that's nothing to brag about. Sting.
This is like a new scary movie.
I mean, yeah, it's just like because so we did our taxes the other night, and when we were done, she goes, "Hey, that took 45 minutes."
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. And she's like, "Man, that was 45 minutes." And then we got on topic of these people that go, "Oh, 2 hours for, you know, first round," and then first round, and then you're talking, "Oh, you know, we're going 5 more rounds." Bull fucking shit.
I want to know when they start their timer.
Well, that too, and then they go, "Oh, we did it, you know, 6 times that day too." It's like, okay, so first of all, after the first time, I need a break.
Sandwich.
So you're saying you couldn't do it 6 times in a 24-hour period?
I need a vitamin water.
In 24 hours, yes, and I had.
Well, you said a day.
No, not if I'm doing it for 2 hours on the first round. That's
Listen,
12 hours of sex. Like,
on the bed.
Are you
That's
talking to
12
married
hours.
porn stars? Like seriously, like who the fuck? You know, I don't understand. And why? Like, are they telling
Tony's
you
sitting
about-
down here like, fuck, I go 2 hours first round.
No, I was thinking more about the many times a day thing back in the younger days. Yeah, I think mine was 7, 8 in one day.
I think we've all tried to break our own record at some point. But
But this
I'm
is
trying to do it now.
But this was also, in between a school period, so I wasn't like, a 12-hour day. It was,
Making babies.
but I was
So,
also,
I
fucking
guess-
13. So.
I guess young skin doesn't chafe. I just, you have to consider like the physical aspect of it.
I mean, yeah.
well, that too. Like, if you're not like this day and age, if you're not like grabbing some lube and you're going out 6 times and she's stroking you every time, like your fucking shit's gonna be rubbed raw.
You're gonna start a fucking fire.
You literally can't do it that much. You can't even do it that long without like getting in the shower after and being like, kind of feel sore. Like you can't really pinpoint it on your dick, but like it's just like you kind of feel sore. And it's like imagine doing that again and again before you realize it's sore from the first time. Those people like shouldn't be telling stories about how they went 2 hours. They should be telling a story about how much their dick hurt when they finally stopped. Because like the rest is bullshit. Because if you try to emulate that and you don't realize like the dick burn, you're gonna be fucking pissed. Like, why did you make me think that I can go 2 hours? What kind of dick
So
spin?
are we calling bullshit on people that say first round is 2 hours and I had sex for 2 hours?
Yeah, and I'm also calling bullshit on their personality. Like you have no other things to talk about.
Yeah, and I don't know why lasting is a thing. Oh, I lasted X, Y. Like, why? Why? If you
cares?
did
Who
it
cares?
right, and you took care of her first, who cares if you last 30 seconds or 12 minutes?
Well, also, it's like if you come fast, it's like I don't know if you know women, but they're gonna eat that shit up. I mean, probably literally, but I meant like figuratively. They're gonna be like, "Man, I'm so fucking hot."
Yep.
So
Yeah, or if you
Why-
can't get off, they're like you.
What's wrong
I
with
can
me?
tell you, I've had a situation where I couldn't with
Yeah.
a chick and ever, and that's just
what's wrong with me?
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Then you get grilled for the next 45 minutes to an hour.
What do you want it to be, Tina? Are you thinking about Tina instead? Like some weird shit, Like no.
and even at that, I wasn't going no fucking 2 hours. I was like, you know what? We're 45 minutes in. You've done everything you can, and I can't. Sorry. Like,
We're done. Tap out.
Fun. Guys, I gotta pee again, but
So
the
Tony,
fuck?
what
I know,
was
it's
your
'cause I drank.
what was your favorite / most hated costume? That's we got to Andy and then got on we got sidetracked again, which is fine.
Fuck, I don't even remember half the shit I wore.
Oh come on, we all know one that you wore.
That wasn't well. I guess that was a Halloween parade. And I didn't even walk in the fucking parade. I was the one driving the truck, so it made it even worse. But yeah, I had to dress up as a fucking. So I don't know. One year, I actually did dress up and passed out candy. I did the Joker, so I mean that was a good one. I didn't have hair, so I mean now I've had a little bit more then than I do now. So I did the gray spray and everything and all the makeup, so I had the outfit. But, yeah. I mean, I don't really remember too many from back in the younger days.
So what age did you all stop trick or treating?
Shit.
I haven't stopped trick or treating. I just stopped dressing up.
Right?
There's adult trick or treating,
Oh, I know. But I mean, like in high school, like when you got older, when did you like stop going door to door dressing up? That's what my question should be on that. Because everybody has a different view on when you should stop, and like there's some places that won't give out to like high schoolers because it's more of a
when I
kid
started
thing.
driving. When I started driving, I think I was done.
That's because you were probably stealing the candy from the kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, we did a lot of that dumb shit, and we were a bunch of assholes for it.
Well, I think a lot of people did. You felt bad, but it was fun at the same time.
I didn't do
younger
that.
days.
Justin was just one of those that got his candy stolen.
Yeah,
Just
candy was
like he wrote penis on his forehead and was in the
Justin
club.
was still trick-or-treating when he was a senior in high school.
I remember when I was old. I don't remember when I stopped, but I remember when I officially became old enough to be smart enough to be like, I'm not using the trick-or-treat bags they send you or you get at school. Like, I'm using a fucking pillowcase. So that was around the time where I stopped. It was a couple years after that. I remember I was Beavis and Butthead with my cousin, and we were kind of old. So that was probably the last year. But my favorite costume is I was Ace Ventura a couple times.
Oh, cool.
Because it was such a cool costume the first time. And I was already done growing by the time I had that costume, so I just kind of kept it around. So that's my favorite costume, because I've done it twice.
Can you ask me a question?
Rather not.
Say, can you talk like him?
I might have a hole in my pants. I might have a hole in the back of my pants.
Can you talk like it then, since you?
So you actually were Ace Ventura, or you were a character from Ace Ventura? Because maybe you just dressed up like a chick. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at.
Ace Ventura. I was Ace Ventura. Alrighty then. Maybe I'll give you a call sometime. Your number's still 911.
Your
Your
gun is digging into my hip.
Yeah, your gun is digging into my hip. What does he say to Dan Marino? And just out of nowhere, like he just goes, I'll respect you to not. I can't remember what the fuck he said.
It's when they're driving in the car to the stadium at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember the line.
Stay out of my business or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
My personal affairs.
Yeah, stay out of my personal business. He's like, weird guy, Ace. You're a weird guy. But yeah, I was Ace Ventura a couple times, and that was fun. I have I have the hair to do it now. Like, I don't know if you can tell from looking at him as Ace Ventura, but he has a ton of hair to do that. Like, it's all done up like a fucking peacock or whatever, but like the one year I did it, it looked ridiculous because I didn't have enough hair. And then the other year I did it looked great because you had enough hair. So my hair is about long enough to do it. I won't show you, but I might do it again this year somewhere. My least favorite costume was a robot when I was a kid because once you got it on, you realize you were like too big to fit anywhere. So don't let your kids wear a costume you make out of boxes because that sucks.
I think my favorite costume I ever witnessed was my parents when I was a kid. Bars always did the bar hopping thing, go out party, whatever. They grabbed 4 other friends and they dressed up like a 6-pack of beer. And they actually chained up to each other, and I drove them. I just turned 16, 17, so I was like their sober driver. And watching them get into these bars was hilarious because they wouldn't disconnect as they were walking in. So trying to fit in some of these doors as 6 people was pretty entertaining. But no, that's probably one of my favorite costumes I've ever seen.
I hate when you. I will never give myself a prop when I dress up in the future. Something you have to carry around, because it's like you get the gag for like 5 seconds and then that's it, and then you're just like holding on to something, like a cleaver or something. Don't pick a costume where you need to carry something with you.
We did it one time where like a bunch of our friends dressed up as zombies, and I dressed up as a zombie hunter. So I was carrying around a shotgun and a cleaver or an axe or whatever. It was kind of awkward. I understand what you're saying by that. I was like, okay, I don't want to carry this anymore. But I randomly went around and killed zombies during the night. It was kind of fun.
But at some point, you like found a place to like put it down.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't need this anymore. They're all dead. Well, I still have the shotgun and stuff, but.
All right.
So how about scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie?
Showgirls. Isn't that what he says?
Yeah, it is what he said. Showgirls. Like, do you get into scary movies?
I said before, like I'm not a genre fan or non-fan of genres, but There happen to be like some scary movies I like. And then other ones are just like, you know, they might not be good, but like I just remember them forever because like, you know, you're younger when you saw them. So, like the first Halloween's good, you
So
know.
that's where I was kind of going with this. So are you a fan of the Halloween movies now that they're remaking or doing? Like Halloween Ends just came out, or would you rather watch the movies from back in the day when they made them, like the Freddy Kruegers, the Nightmare on Elm Streets,
Yeah.
Halloween?
The only Halloween I'll watch is the first one ever.
That's the first
and that's
one?
because like John Carpenter, it's mostly like his take on stuff that I like. David Lynch has a lot of scary movies. It might not be like the horror movies you would think they'd be, but like they're
Right.
like psychologically fucked up, and like they stay with you. So that's a good scary movie. Silence of the Lambs, fucking Exorcist, creepy ass movies. You know, I know Andy watched like 3 movies total, so he's probably.
I've got something. It might be a little bit on the controversial side, but I do like the Saw movies.
Hell yeah.
The whole franchise, or do you like a certain movie out of the franchise?
All of them. They're all.
Didn't
So
we
what's
talk
your
about this last
favorite-
week?
2 weeks ago, probably.
No, Andy wasn't here.
Oh yeah, we kind of talked about Saw.
I
last
said,
week.
yeah, I said Andy, because I was kind of saying to Dustin or whoever, like the fact that they keep making like Halloweens is stupid, but like I would never take my own medicine and say that about Saw.
I think we
No.
might have said this off air. I don't know if it was
okay.
actually in the show.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But so Andy, before you keep going, what's your favorite Saw movie? Like, what do you have a favorite movie in the franchise, or you just like the
I
whole
know.
franchise? I like the
I know.
whole franchise. That's why I'm asking.
I'm going to tell you, if it's not Field of Dreams or it's not Mighty Ducks, I do not retain shit from movies or TV
Unless they're a
shows
sport
or
movie
whatever.
of kids.
People will be
or
like,
something.
"Oh, did you see this movie?" I'll be like, "Yeah." Remember this part? No.
No.
So, like, I know I watched all the Saw movies, and I liked all the Saw movies.
Don't
and
remember
I can't
crap from 'em.
remember fucking shit from them.
Like, if you look at the first Saw movie, the guy in the middle ends up being the killer, spoiler alert, or the guy. If you
Yeah,
watch
Jigsaw.
that movie over and over again, that person is constantly moving. You just don't pay attention to it as a viewer.
Until you see it a second time, yeah. You did
Until
say
you
that.
see it
We had to-
multiple times. Yes. It's
Um,
crazy how there's, you know, we were talking about the whole White Rabbit Easter egg and all that. And there's so many Easter eggs in movies. I mean, Justin, you know what I'm talking about. You watch a lot of movies. I know I do too. But, you know, when you look in that stuff, I mean, I want to go back and look at the rest of the Saw franchise and how many other Easter eggs like that are there out there in that franchise. So I thought
Yeah,
they did a good job in it.
I've seen them all. I've probably seen one that Andy you haven't seen yet, or might not even be aware of. Spiral. Did you see that one? It's
That's the newest Saw franchise movie, right?
yeah, Chris Rock's in it, which is weird for him to. Chris Rock.
Is it? It's not. Is that in the franchise, or is it more of a spin-off?
It definitely is in the franchise because they referenced John Jigsaw.
Okay.
So like
Yeah, they do, don't they?
a lot of stuff is like this is like him like or copy like the fact if they say copycat anything like it harkens back to the original so it exists in that
Right.
universe.
Right.
I don't know how much you know production is based like I don't know how they exchange like the rights and stuff. It might not be above board, but it's supposed to be part of that series.
Yeah, I know I cut Andy off on his whole process he was going, and I apologize. You brought up Saw, and I just love that franchise.
So that's one that I like. I'm not into like they don't. A lot of them don't scare me. Yeah, and that goes back to probably working in the haunted house industry, right? Like it just shit just don't scare me. The one that probably gave me the most suspense and the most like I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Blair Witch Project.
Yep. You know, how they played that is like, this is a true story. These kids never came back and all that. It got people so wrapped up in it and all that. I remember when the Blair Witch came out, and
Yeah.
I mean, we all were more than likely in our teens at that point, I think. I remember
And when
watching
we're
that
saying-
movie.
we're saying I don't retain shit.
You retain that.
I have retained shit from that. Now, I haven't seen the second one.
You don't want to. You'll ruin it. Just watch the first one.
There's a second one, and then there's a reboot.
Yeah, there's a reboot of it too. Yeah.
Don't need to see those.
No.
I was working in a movie theater. I was working in a movie theater when Book of Shadows came out. And I could have seen it free, and I still didn't watch it.
I watched it, and
Did
it did okay with it, but when you go into a movie feeling like, hey, this really happened, your emotions take over a little bit more. Like, hey, we found this footage randomly in this woods.
It was so unique.
Yes.
In the way that was shot.
And
if I remember, and that was a thing. I think that's why the suspense and everything got me, and maybe really had me on edge, is because really the entire movie you saw nothing.
No,
they're
running, crying, whatever. No,
that's the genius of it.
Justin, I don't know if you'll know this since we're talking about it. Sorry, Andy, again, but wasn't it like the lowest money cost to make a movie and the highest grossing movie ever made? I don't know if it's still to this day. I know when it came out, it was.
Yeah, it cost about $10,000, I think.
Yeah, it cost like $10,000 to make
in 1999. And they even returned the camera after they made it. So they didn't altogether spend that money completely because they got some of it back. But
it's
yeah,
like
the directors actually put them in the woods and fuck with them. So like when they come out and they see the rocks and the teeth and everything. Like they weren't acting. They were just like they knew they were going to expect something, and then they had to play off what they got. I mean, I think they could have made. I think the sequel should have been the making of the movie. It would have been more watchable. But yeah, like they were supposed to show the monster or the witch or whatever at the end, and then they just decided they didn't or couldn't. And I
think they took the chance that they could do a sequel, but I think they ran into the case how do we do a sequel?
Well, here's the thing. So, the reason it worked, too, is the Blair Witch is one of those things, like the Jersey Devil, that's a urban legend, right? So, if they did a Jersey Devil one, or if they did that as you would add the same suspenseful feeling, right? Because if you go down to Maryland, the Blair Witch to them is one of their things they hold on to.
It's there. Yep.
Interesting point to make here is if you like true crime or anything. I don't know if you guys do. You remember Serial that came out? It was like the biggest podcast ever. It was about a murder case in that same area. Yep. Well, the woods they're in is where they found that girl's body. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Yeah. So maybe when they were around the Blair Witch, I don't know if I can't think of the time. I think it was around the same time. When did Blair Witch come out? When would they have filmed that?
99, roughly, give or take.
Yeah, and this was around the same time. It's around the same time that the murder happened. I mean, they could have crossed the guy taking her body there, and these.
It was a 1999 film, so they probably filmed it in 98. It would be, I guess, because I don't know how much editing would have came into play there. I don't know when they filmed it. It came out in 99.
Talk about a movie that could have been made and came out a month later. You don't even know.
That's just it.
Yeah, most movies, it's actors have to see a movie coming out and oh my god, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, we got told they were filming this 5 years ago, and look at Avatar.
Yeah,
but so
Avatar too.
But
keep going, Andy, with your thought.
That to me is by far the best horror, if you're going to put it in the horror genre, movie out there, because it's unique to anything else out there. The rest of them, you're it's like walking through a haunted house for me, right?
What's going to pop up behind that door?
The certain music plays, get ready, the pop out's coming. You know what I mean? You go through a haunted house,
jump
and you go
scares
through a certain corner, and you're like, well, this is going to happen. Or, you walk into a room in a haunted house, and there's it's a bedroom scene, and you go, well, fuck, somebody's under the bed. You know what I mean? Shit like if you're looking to be scared or suspense or whatever, when you know it's coming, it's not there. But with the Blair Witch, you expected it the entire movie and got nothing.
Until the end. And there was nothing at the end.
Yeah, except it's like, you know, the camera gets killed and then the movie's over. And it's like, ugh. Yeah, it's like, I still think about it, you know? And, ugh. I mean, you're saying unique, like Saw was that too. Saw was unique.
And maybe that's why I'm drawn to Saw, right? But like, even you start thinking about Saw now and what the popular thing to do on the weekends is now, and it's Saw brought that on. These escape rooms, right?
Yeah.
It's a Saw thing.
They have a Saw escape room in Las Vegas. I would love to go to that.
I wonder how many people actually cut their leg off to get out.
But like, what do you do? You can't recreate something. Like we've been to these haunted houses. Tony and I worked at one that actually got so big with their movie themed stuff that they got cease and desist letters. Probably because their scenes were built better than the real ones. But you know, you can't recreate that.
Oh.
Well,
What the Blair Witch did.
Now you have people now you have pussies, actually. Like, people think that Stranger Things is scary, you know? Oh my God, did you see Stranger Things this season? It's so scary. I'm like, the fuck were you watching? That's like fucking like
Or Supernatural.
Like, there's literally little kids in that show. What the fuck scared you? Makeup and fucking CGI?
Or Walking Dead is scary.
Terrifying. Yeah. Yeah, the zombies don't like go until they're like right next to you. You know?
Yeah.
I love that shit. You know, you can hear me. You can hear me coming.
Literally.
You can't hear what you guys are saying.
I wonder if that's what his O sounds like.
No,
I love when people say Walking Dead is scary. I don't know. Or, I mean, Stranger Things. Sorry.
So do you have any other movies, Andy, that besides the Blair Witch and Saw? Like, you know, somebody said you saw 3. Those 2.
I mean, I've seen
Well, I
one
guess
of
the
those, but I don't. None of them really appealed to me whatsoever.
How about you, Tony? I know you're trying to show us your white beard there, but
Sorry.
how about you? I know you're a Halloween guy. How about your horror movies?
Oh gosh. I mean, I never really got into Saw. I mean, I watched the first one. I think I watched the second, but after that, I just couldn't really get into them. I'm more of like your Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, that kind. So I never really got into Freddy either. So
Freddy's kind of weird. I mean, even before he was Freddy Krueger, like Supernatural Monster, what was he?
yeah.
He's a fucking child molester.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you got like Child's Play, you know, with Chucky,
Yeah.
which they just keep trying to reboot and do everything. So
Yeah, speaking
My
of
wife
reboot,
will eventually get a doll of him because she hates him.
would that scare you, though? Something like this big, you know?
No, honestly, me and my wife have had this conversation, and she said if she ever got a Chucky doll, she would probably kill the person that gave it to her. Because she definitely hates Chucky. Anything with dolls and all that.
Well, there you go. If you ever want to commit
Like that.
suicide, just buy
Yeah,
her
if
a
I ever
Chucky
want to
doll.
die, I'm just going to buy her a Chucky doll. But
I mean,
that
even when I
might
was
turn
young,
into a real at some point. But
even when I was young, like I was thinking, like, you know, I'll kick that thing, you know,
Yeah.
I had a My Buddy too, which was what they based it on.
yeah, that's what they based it on. Wasn't my buddy? Yep.
So it was never creepy to me. Like when they say like little girls like songs and stuff, like they use that a lot in movies. You notice, like they'll be like, "Ring around the road," like they'll do stuff like that. They even make stuff at like, and I'm sure you saw them at where you work. Like the Halloween stuff has like, you just hit the button and it's like little girls singing like a nursery rhyme.
Yep.
Like, and you could put it in your yard. So like they've harnessed that whole like little kids singing in like an echoey chamber is like now scary. Like that shit never scared me. I just always thought it was like cheap. And
Yeah, because you have the movies like Annabelle and
I guess, yeah, stuff I didn't watch.
yeah.
The thing is what, I mean, with the doll stuff and all that, they do say that, people can attach themselves to something like that they enjoyed as they grew up or as they lived with. If you kept it your whole life, you can attach yourself after death to that object, and that could make stuff haunted and all that. So like Annabelle and stuff like that, I mean, I've watched videos, I've studied on like Annabelle. I believe that's a real thing. I would never mess with that doll. I would never open up that cabinet and let that doll out because I probably would kill myself in the process. But I mean, when it comes down to dolls and stuff, that's why Chucky, I think, became so scary. And I think that's where all these haunted dolls came from because, when you come down to it, like I know we were going to like the haunted stuff, but that is Halloween. But, like I said, when you pass, you attach yourself to something, and that's where ghosts come from. I mean, in a way. I mean.
Well, now we get to the real meat and potatoes here before it gets too late for everybody. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Andy?
Well, we've covered this topic, and the answer is no.
Oh, that's right.
We have kind of covered this.
I mean, I kind of go either way. I'm not a true believer, but I mean,
have you had any experiences like where you thought maybe you personally like had something happen?
I haven't.
See, my experiences, I don't know if I was like still asleep or if it really happened. That's like my closest experience to actually like believing it, but for the most part, I'd say no.
So what happened, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm not. Before he tells his story, I won't believe it until a ghost gives me a blowjob.
I know where I could take you in Minnesota. We might be able to make that happen.
There's a crackhead named Ghost. There's a crackhead named Ghost that I see around Camden. We can get that to happen for you. But my story is that I wasn't sure if my deceased uncle was getting me to go upstairs to sleep from this very basement. Whether he was getting me to wake me up to sleep because he knew I don't like falling asleep in the basement, or if I was dreaming that right before I actually got up and went up to the basement. But I kind of got up and went upstairs and thought, like, I wasn't afraid because it was my uncle, but then I was like, but he's no longer with us. How did that happen? So it's like stuff like that,
That's just it. I think with ghost stuff, is it a lot of our minds playing with ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Because your mind can go there, like
easy,
on LSD, so it's in there anyway. I don't think when you take like drugs, it's like there's ghosts in this pill. Like it just does stuff to your brain, and I think it does stuff that's there anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have really like concrete experiences. There's other situations where it's been suggested that certain places are haunted, and did you hear what it said? And you didn't really get a chance to figure out what it said because somebody's already telling you what they thought it sounded like. So now it's like suggested to you, and you're like, might have just been nothing.
Well, that's it. You look at some of the YouTube videos out there, people doing ghost hunts and stuff. They're like, oh, did you hear that? And they're putting up the words right in front of you.
And nobody... And nobody that's there has any accreditation. It's just like people that like want to find ghosts.
Yeah.
There's like nobody that's like, well, like the hypotenuse of blah blah blah. It's just like people are like, yo, bro, wouldn't it be cool if we caught one? It's like those are the people that like I'm not gonna trust.
We were talking about the Blair Witch Project earlier, and in a town just south of where I live, we were just kind of out driving one night, and we actually like went on this weird gravel road. It ended up being a driveway. The house looked exactly like the Blair Witch Project house at the end of the movie. It was just weird. So we called it the Blair Witch House. It's no longer standing, but we used to go out there and have fun out there. And I mean, I've seen some stuff in my life, but is it my mind playing with me? I don't know. I just believe in them. I've had my experiences, but I've caught some EVPs and all that, like playing with recordings and stuff like that, Just it's weird, but a lot of it comes down to is your mind playing with you. It's kind of like with Andy saying that he doesn't get scared at movies. There's a lot of people like that. But you got me, I don't get really scared. I get more suspenseful, get excited about what's going on. But like I remember watching The Hills Have Eyes with my girlfriend, my wife now at the time. We walked out of that theater. Her nails dug so much into my legs was bleeding.
So here's
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was gonna say there's like we're talking about like scary movies. I talk about psychological fuck ups that are like murderous and stuff like that. Like there's like movies that piss me off where like the bad guy is just like a horrible rapist or something like that. I wouldn't say that that's a scary movie. I would say more of like a supernatural like scary movie, like
Right.
Evil Dead and shit. But there are a ton of movies that like make my skin crawl. Like the Hannibal Lecter movies are kind of like in that realm. But I wouldn't say like that's like Halloween movies. Like true crime is not like Halloween stuff. I'd say like what Tony's into, like the mass killers that walk around with like machetes and stuff.
So how about Scream?
I thought the first one, had an impact on me, but they're still making them, and I think that sucks.
Yeah, they could have stopped. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw me looking to my left a couple times. Scream 4 was on.
I think it's weird. I think it's
They already
weird
gave us a
that-
go ahead for Scream 6. They are making Scream 6 as we speak.
I think it's weird that like Ghostface and like Freddy Krueger and like Jason are like costumes, especially like Scream or something, because it's like that's just like a murderer. I'm going. Where are you going as a murderer? Oh, okay, cool.
Well, and you look at any costume out there now. I mean, you look at Hellraiser. I mean, like you said, Michael Myers, all that. I mean, but that's that's what Halloween turned into. I mean, it's in reality, it's All Hallows Eve, and it's the time of the year where the spiritual realm opens up, and that's when everything's more out there. Is how
Right.
Halloween was found.
But you're scaring away the evil spirits by dressing up like a petty high school murderer.
Right? No, I hear you.
Like, oh, good job. You got the point on that one, I guess.
Or you got the girls dressing up slutty and sexy
Yeah, that's
cops
really-
and shit. What are you doing to those ghosts now? Are you
They're getting
attacking them?
boners now. Yeah, ghosts are like, boo, holy shit, fuck. Andy, you were gonna say something like 20 minutes ago. Sorry.
Yeah, then you guys went. It was more on a topic that you were already talking about. Then you changed it, so
That's okay.
We'll go back to it. We're fine.
But you said you were the only possible thing that you may have encountered, Justin. You may have been asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I have heard this, and I know people who believe this, that when you sleep and you dream, you leave your body.
It's an out-of-body experience. I knew where you were going with this.
And so, like, you could go visit your uncle or whatever.
He visits you.
And then sometimes, have you ever woken up and gone, is that fucking real?
Or even more recently for me, I woke up and said, I literally woke up like 2 weeks ago and said, thank God. You ever do that?
Yeah.
That you woke up? No.
Because you weren't in like, it's never a dream where like you're like the president of Kabibblebub, the star system a million miles from here, like where like none of it made sense, and suddenly you're like, oh, of course that wasn't reality as I know it. It wasn't even me. But like there's been a situation where I know I'm Justin and I'm in a situation that sucks balls, and then I wake up and it had, like 2 weeks ago I woke up and I was like, oh, thank God. But yeah, no.
But
the uncle thing is, like,
if you start tying this in, right? So like outer body experiences when you sleep, and then you wake up and you go, "Fuck, was that real?" And then you have deja vu as well.
Yeah.
Now let's start talking about: are we having spiritual encounters with ourselves when we're sleeping?
oh, totally. I
Like
would
with
think.
me with that, I almost feel like there's other realms. Like when you're sleeping and you go into it, it's almost like you're living your other life. And that's just when you actually meet up. And in my opinion, you have that deja vu. It's almost like that timeline meets for that single solitary second.
Yep.
That's why you feel it. You know.
And do you go like where you don't dream for a while and you think like I haven't dreamt for a while, and then you just dream constantly?
Yep.
It's weird how that works too.
Well, it's like growing up, I always had, I don't know if everybody has this. I always had that reoccurring dream every so often throughout the year, but it like would quit early. But as I grew older, the dream went longer. Like I would actually have the whole dream, but it would go longer. So it's like, was I not getting enough sleep when I was younger? Or did this like all of a sudden just bust? So it went faster. So I dreamt this. And it was like it ended up being like a horror thing, but I was like at a camp, but there was a house off the side that was evil. And it was weird. And to this day, it still hasn't ended in my eyes. I don't think it's still
so when you're in it, do you feel like you have a superpower yet? Like where you're aware of it? Here's that thing again? Or I can do more?
I feel like every time it starts, I'm going to this camp and I'm meeting my camp girlfriend. And we can't wait to see each other. We're pen pals, whatever, back in the day and all that. And then it just slowly ramps up to like something worse keeps happening. But we keep getting out of that situation. Yeah, it's new.
So it's not like a final destination thing where you're like, wait a minute, like this fucking happened the same way before. He's
talking about it today. Anybody want to bet that tonight
I have this dream?
Yeah.
I will.
But then there's other things where you don't talk about. Maybe you're picking up subtleties you're not aware of, like where like you just dream stuff out of nowhere. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
The last part of the dream, I actually remember, like, honestly remember that where it ended the last time. Me and her were getting chased by some being. We still don't, never saw it, so I don't even know what to call it. But it was like a murderer or something, and we don't know. And we're locked in a closet trying to hide from it. It's the last thing I remember. In this house that we were never supposed to go in. And it's weird. I mean, this has probably been going on since like from when I can remember. I was probably 13. I mean, it probably could be before that, but that's like when my earliest remembrance of this dream is. It's just weird how it works. I mean, to me, that's where like as I got older, that's when I started believing in the other realm. Like this is what my other self is going through right now, and I can't save him.
So Justin, was yours an out-of-body experience, possibly, where you saw your uncle when you were sleeping? But actually saw your uncle?
Well, with mine, it's weird because I was awakened by him.
But were you awakened?
Exactly, but I don't remember waking up again in actuality. So, like, I remember I woke up, he was there talking to me, and I said, okay, and I went upstairs. And I was still awake, so I don't remember waking up twice. But it's like the thing that's killing me.
But when you woke up when you actually woke up, were you in a different room?
No, I was like right where I was, and I was
an out-of-body experience.
Echo off.
That dang goes.
Do you guys have the Alexa or whatever?
No.
Oh, none of you guys do. I call it ECHO because I'm cool.
Hey Alexa.
Hey
yeah,
Siri.
That won't work. Yeah. It's crazy, right? We don't fucking need that
It
shit.
listens to you. It's kind of like that goes into a whole other thing. Everybody talks about tracking devices, and they're worried we're going to get tracking chips. So tracking chips are right here.
Don't fucking trust the government. They're following you.
Yeah, we go back to what we were talking about with this out of body thing because
my new phone, bro. Yeah.
I think everybody has had an out of body experience. Some people just don't remember it.
Or if you're stupid, it's an outer body experience. I've heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
That's the last time I watched that person's YouTube.
So,
Tony, if you have a dream of outside your body.
Tony, have you had an inner asshole experience?
Have you had an
outer body?
Yeah. Have you had a Cartman probe?
No.
Because that's the other thing they say. If you have a lost time, like you have no recollection of a certain period of time, they say that could be you being abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Okay, I have that. All right. I was not abducted by aliens because I was there.
You did not get the anal probe.
I was there the entire time. Tony was there too. I just don't remember anything about it. It was my deepest, darkest time of my entire life.
No alcohol.
and there was a lot of alcohol, and I don't remember a damn fucking thing about probably about 2 years of my life.
Wow. You're abducted.
You were abducted for 2 freaking years. You just don't know it.
I love
Tony was too if he was there.
I love the people that say, now I'm just saying I love it. It could be true. I'm not being, what's that word, skeptical or anything, but like there's just certain things I love about alien stories where people go so far as to say, and I must have been on a spaceship, but they made it look exactly like my bedroom.
Well, you're talking like the beginning of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's real people. I don't know if they watch Ghostbusters. Yeah, Ghostbusters 2, right? Like where Bill Murray's like career is washed up and he's on TV now talking to crazy people. And that was the whole point of that part of the movie. It's like these people are insane. But like there's people that are like, they must have made it look like my bedroom. It's like, what the fuck are these aliens doing?
The problem is that, you know, I feel like ghosts, whether you believe you're a skeptic or you don't believe, you know, whatever you do, but I think a lot of it is, when it comes down to the point, is they make you look insane, so that's not real.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like most kids are more acceptable to it. Like, you know, I've always thought like when you have an imaginary friend, you know, like I had one. I don't know if you guys ever did, but were you really talking to an imaginary friend, or was it a ghost in your life? Like, have you ever been around a kid and they just stare off in the freaking distance?
Mm-hmm.
And they just sat there for like 2 minutes and you're like, what the hell is that kid thinking? And what are they looking at? But they always say that, you know, for people that do believe in ghosts, is that ghosts go more to children because us as adults, we believe them less.
We're like skeptical fucks. We're like, you know.
See, like I'm not. I've had my experiences. I just don't like sharing them because I don't want it to come back.
When you talk
Ouija boards are very, very, very bad.
Yeah, I had some weird experiences with Ouija boards, and I didn't get.
Don't ever do them. If you do, make sure you know what you're doing, and close that portal when you're done. Because if you don't close it, your life is screwed.
Look at Andy shaking his head.
There's no fucking portal. Jesus fuck.
Okay,
the only portal you got is it can be an exit only, or it can be a swing door, whichever one you want it to be. But that's the only fucking portal you've got.
So in a couple months, Andy, when you come up to watch a football with me and we hang out, I'm bringing my Ouija board. We're gonna do it.
Fine. But
we gotta go to a certain spot in Minneapolis.
Good luck with my wife.
Well, me and you can just go, because my wife won't do it either. She'll never do a Ouija board with me. Do I ever want to touch one again? No.
I'm sorry. I don't think Hasbro has any in.
Oh, this ain't a Hasbro. This ain't a Hasbro Ouija board.
You know, I don't think, you know, Milton Bradley has a fucking into the afterlife here. Like, I don't think it's a thing.
Tony, have you ever messed with a Ouija board?
No, never have. So,
do you ever want to?
I don't know. Never really thought about it, or had the. I just have to do it one time, and no, I don't know. Never have it.
See, my thing with Ouija boards, and I'm a fond believer in them, but it's like there's always that one person you feel that's pushing it. It is. It's how it works. But everybody swears up and
you're
down.
Going to ask the spirit to contact you, and it's going to answer to us, suck my dick, Dusty John. That's what it's going to say.
Like, honestly, you're almost better off doing it with somebody that you know. But, like, with me, with experience in it, if you got two people that don't have it, you're almost better off with, like Andy and Tony doing it. You guys are better off doing it together and then it gets more interesting. Just if you see Zozo, get the fuck out. That's all I'm going to say.
Fucking Zozo? Really? This is where we're headed. Fucking Zozo.
Oh, it's Zozo. You don't want Zozo.
And talk to me
Demons
about fucking... We got about 20 minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes left of this show. You talk to me about fucking Zozo. Who the fuck is
You don't
Zozo?
want to know about Zozo. I don't want to talk about Zozo. I hate bringing up Zozo. I just brought him up, but
Zozo's gonna be in your dreams tonight. Now that you brought him up.
Zozo will be in my dreams tonight, and he's gonna mess up my awesome dream of my camp life, I guess. But I'm a fond believer of the supernatural. I've been around it. I've experienced it most of my life. I believe my house actually has a ghost in it.
Real quick, I want to interject. I'm pretty sure a Zozo is something that Led Zeppelin latched onto for whatever reason.
Yep.
I've seen Zozo on a Led Zeppelin thing
Mm-hmm.
before. I don't want to know what it is either. I'm like, I don't want to fuck with shit if I don't have to.
Does Zozo
But-
haunt you if you Google it?
No. It is a demon.
How about The Ring? Remember the original Ring? That movie was pretty good.
So are you talking?
Not the Japanese one. I'm talking about the
Oh,
first-
Yeah,
shit.
you're talking about.
Leslie Jordan, beloved actor and social media star, dead at 67.
Who's that?
He was on Will and Grace.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I didn't know his name. But obviously gay is who you're talking about. 'Cause
So
I
before we
saw-
wrap this
Okay.
up,
There's a fucking film in 2012, I Am Zozo. It's a fucking movie, Dustin.
oh, it's more to it.
What about
There's more to it.
Oh, I gotta eat a bean, guys. I'm actually afraid of that more than anything we've talked about.
So when you trick or treated, what was your favorite candy to get? Like, what was your go-to candy you wanted to get?
Well, we all talk about
Not
the glory,
beans.
we all talk about the glory days of didn't matter what candy it was, but if there was a king size house, you remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
Or non-fun size. Remember fun size? Like it used to actually be more fun. Like they just keep. Like I'm sure if somebody took an evolution of like how small the fun size kept getting, it would be ridiculous. All right, so I'm gonna spin this and eat one bean before we finish here. So I got 30 dishwater. But I'm hoping for. Anybody know? What's the opposite of dirty dishwater? I just saw what it is. I just wonder if you guys. What?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Birthday cake.
I don't think we've had this one yet, have we?
No, it's kind of exciting. And this is because, Andy, you made me laugh by saying what?
Podshed.
I ain't laughing yet.
Podshed. What the fuck, man? All right.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that too, because I didn't know that's where they did their things. Can't wait to talk with these guys sometime.
Do you guys have your kits near you? I need help finding this one.
Which one are you looking for?
It should be the white with like the colorful sparkles, I think.
Yeah,
It's just really white, more white than the other ones.
it's right here. You're not gonna
yeah.
see it. Oh, my light's probably doing it. It's got like the little sparkles in it.
What color are the sparkles?
Colorful.
All right, I'll
Blue,
show you
pink.
mine.
Yep.
No.
Did you just randomly eat one, Dustin?
No, I didn't. I put it back in my box.
Oh.
I don't want the shards again.
Oh my god.
All right, Justin, time for some Podshed.
Birthday cake or dirty dishwater? Make sure, because I don't want. I mean, I hope I don't get the wrong one because they're all bad. No. Oh yeah. Yeah, I do have this one. Okay, let's see. I have nothing to chase it, so I hope it's the good one. Oh, last week we both got good ones, except for the toothpaste was a bad one, but that wasn't that bad.
Yeah. No, it was like, here my gum.
Yeah. So fucking birthday cake or dirty dishwater.
And we're chewing.
That's a birthday cake.
There you go. Look at you.
You know why you got birthday cake?
Because it's your son's birthday.
That's right. Today is my
Happy birthday.
son's 10th birthday, so everybody give a shout out to Chase.
Happy birthday, Chase.
Happy birthday, Chase.
10th birthday today. Got to go to school, and we went to his school for like to do cupcakes or whatever. He didn't want to do cupcakes, so we took root beer floats.
Cool.
I still love that when you could bring cupcakes on your birthday.
Yeah, we brought root beer floats. That was fun. And he also it was also dress up today as a career, what you want to be in your career. And he decided, anybody want to guess what he...
I saw the post, so it's not a guess. So I'll let them two guess.
Okay.
Baseball player?
No? Tony?
I'm probably gonna have to say maybe like some kind of like Pokemon guy.
No, he can't be
a career?
For a career, he's not a Pokemon guy.
Yeah.
You never know kids these days.
That's like that falls in the influencer column.
One of our buddies who's race car driver got a new helmet, gave him his old helmet, autographed it for him, so he had to take that today and be a race car driver. So, yes.
Awesome. Wait.
Dustin's got the white rabbit
I
sitting
thought
on
the
his
white
shoulder.
rabbit teasers were over.
I found the white rabbit.
However,
Is it Bray Wyatt?
now
It was
quickly-
in my house the whole time.
Quickly on the white rabbit, because we are running out of time here.
That's why I put it up there.
We'll touch on this next episode a little bit. I watched, if you haven't seen it, go on Facebook. There's a video Justin put up about the white rabbit and the white rabbit bet. And one of the things in there that Dustin said is, I think the teasers are over. Guess what,
Okay.
Dustin?
They're not.
They're not.
There's still stuff out there.
That is a tricky bet, though. Even putting that video together,
That's why I took the beans that day.
I think you guys were really
Because
verbose
it was
on
there,
that
but
bet.
it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a tough bet to like win on because it's like there's no end. I don't you know what I mean? Like it's like
Here is my one thought on this now. If anybody's been, has anybody followed, and you don't have to watch wrestling, you can easily YouTube just Bray Wyatt on SmackDown each night. He does a promo. It's probably about 3 minutes of talking. Has anybody seen him?
I
doing
saw highlights of the last one. I didn't get to
doing
see
the
it
edit.
yet.
I came across some stuff that I watched. So yeah.
Okay. And Tony, have you seen him?
Yep, I watched the last one.
Okay.
Yep.
So he comes on and he just does a quick talk about whatever, and he keeps saying,
He was borderline crying on one of the ones I saw. Like he was so choked up by the energy.
however, here's what everybody's missing. Everybody, he is saying, and what everybody thinks he's saying, you guys wouldn't leave me alone. You brought me back. You wouldn't leave me alone. He's not talking about the WWE fans.
Nope.
He's
he talking
talking about whoever's pulling the strings behind this White Rabbit deal. And that's yet to be revealed.
Oh, so now you're saying he's not the White Rabbit.
He's not the White Rabbit.
I would think that the White Rabbit was just to take you down his hole. You know?
He's not the one pulling the strings. Whether it's the White Rabbit, whether it's whatever you want to call
Triple H.
him.
Well, they gave a name to the mask now, right?
Yes.
So
Uncle
what were the characters?
Uncle what?
Harvey?
They haven't let out
Howie.
anything with characters.
Let's
Uncle
go back.
Howie.
Let's go back because some of your opinions are 3 weeks old. So based on what they showed, Andy, you were talking about that one clip where they were closing up on all the things, Rabbit included. Explain those things to me and what each one is. There's a fat guy with his stomach sticking out. What's that about?
So all
mean, you
those
guys
were,
give me-
he had characters in his previous run, before he got fired from WWE. His character had what was called the Firefly Funhouse. It was almost a Pee Wee Herman-esque funhouse and these were all, but it was like an evil funhouse, right?
And these
But it
were
was
played
like
by
a
different people.
and these
They were
were
puppets.
character puppets in the Firefly film.
Oh, so is this the first time you're seeing them like in human form?
Yes.
Yes.
Or okay, so he's humanizing the puppets now.
Yes, he's also changed his name, and before he showed up into WWE, changed his Twitter handle to Wyatt6. So
Six,
there's
like the
going
number?
to be 6 iterations of either him as a character or 6 other people.
Yeah,
I think
there's
it's
a lot of different ways to look at it.
You guys say
But
factions, right?
Yes, but he is not talking about when he says, you guys wouldn't leave me alone. You would always stop and talk to me. You would always... He's not talking about WWE fans. He's talking about whoever this is.
The
six.
puppet master.
Basically the puppet master, yes.
But the puppet master is more than one because he's saying you guys.
Yep.
Could be.
I think it's all his inner characters. They're pulling him back.
Oh, that's a good one. He's like schizophrenic.
Like
So,
they're calling this
now-
new mask.
but now in his
Uncle,
last
whatever Andy
one-
said.
In his last one, he said, I was interrupted.
Yep.
Right? The first time. The one where Justin saw where he was almost crying. He was interrupted, and he was interrupted by the masked character.
Uncle Howie, is that what you said?
Howdy.
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 But isn't that
So
the
is
mask
that-
he came out in at Extreme Rules, correct?
No.
It's not? Okay. We really haven't had a good visual of it. That's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Did he take that mask off?
He took that mask off at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this all inner workings of himself? So
Well,
is
that's
he
why I
stick-
think Extreme Rules are all placeholders. I think the Firefly Funhouse characters at Extreme Rules were just another form of the Easter egg down the rabbit hole. Getting people to go, hey, this is what we're thinking and all that. Like we kept talking about Baron Corbin being the buzzard. I remember I watched Justin's video. We remember saying that. You know, we were saying how anybody
Did that
could-
come true?
No, nothing came out of these characters. Nothing's been said about these characters ever since Extreme Rules. I think that was just another thing to dust people off the path. You know, Andy, you brought up in the other video or a few shows ago that Triple H came out and said it's not who you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this a debut going through Bray Wyatt or a reemergence? Or
Dallas.
exactly.
So
Bo
real quick,
Dallas is going to end up being the White Rabbit in this,
And that's his
going to
brother,
be
right?
the end.
That's
And I
his
think
real
that's
life
who's gonna-
brother, yes.
Yep, and I think that's who's going to end up being his evil side, per se, this Uncle Howdy, or is there somebody else playing that, or is that Bray and they're going to all of a sudden turn the tables and have Bo Dallas playing a whole different character?
Is
You know-
there a possibility anywhere out there that his father returns as something? For
Who was
us
his father?
old school wrestling fans, and Justin, you may even remember this name because it was back in the 80s when you were watching on Saturday mornings or whatever. IRS is his father.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't even know that name.
I did not know
Roddy Piper.
I did not
Put
know
on
that.
the glasses.
That was their
Put
fault.
on the glasses.
Yeah,
Now,
IRS.
real quick though.
was
Real
his-
quick
is
though,
his father.
those guys that they were panning to, like the iterations you're saying,
Yep.
are you supposed to figure out who's behind the mask, or they just hire people to like just stand?
I think those are the stand-ins. I honestly feel that has nothing to do with this story. You know, everybody's thinking the Wyatt 6, like, hey, there it is. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's going to be, I think the Fiend will be part of it, and I don't know how.
Now is that a chick?
I think it's actually Bray Wyatt. They're just playing it that it's not Bray Wyatt. They always did that with the Fiend character back in his last run. They never actually said Bray was the Fiend. He was playing the Fiend, but was he like when they did stuff, the Fiend was on. They were never together to put it together, but so it's all just the storyline thing when it comes down to it. In my opinion, with that, could they come out and say that?
At this point, it's playing out way too slowly.
Well, this is still
and
way
that's what
more
they're going to
interesting.
try to do, and I think this is where they'll learn. Because I honestly was thinking that this all culminates at Survivor Series War Games. I don't think it ends until WrestleMania. Now,
Yeah.
if not longer than that, and I would think WrestleMania would be the culmination. But there's going to be something, in my opinion, at every pay-per-view. There's going to be something that adds into the story, and it's all going to culminate at WrestleMania. But that's just how I feel right now with how slow it's going. I mean, we've had 2 SmackDowns since Extreme Rules, and that's all Bray Wyatt's on. But they are still mentioning it on Raw. But in the same aspect, nothing's really came out the last 2 weeks.
But you are getting other QR codes.
Yep.
But nobody's following him now that he's actually on the show.
What are they, though? I'm sure
I haven't even looked at them.
Yeah, I really haven't either.
Well, back talk us if you have, and you want to tell us what they are. So
I'm guessing there's stuff out there we could find on them and start dabbling in. I mean, we could put it out, but
well, if I do more edits, depending on what I'm open to suggestions. If you guys want to be like, I thought this or that was cool, we should do like a focus on that for 5 minutes. Let me know. But when I do another one, like we can include like what these answers are and stuff like that, so we can people that watch those can be enlightened,
Yep.
Because the last thing I want to do is have a podcast where we're like, hold on a second, let's look that up. As great as that is, that we could do that in technology age, it's like I still miss, like I like the thing that like there's just 4 of us just talking, and talking shit and just basing anything of what we're talking about on our like current knowledge. Like I miss that. And I think there's like an entire generation of people that just don't even have that.
Absolutely.
Well, like I just pulled it up on Google.
We grew up in that. We didn't have that technology.
Yeah, like I like trusting what Andy's saying based on how he's talking, or what Dustin's saying, or Tony, and like it's just mostly opinion anyway on here. So, but yeah, like if we can make videos of stuff, like, and we can enlighten people and enlighten ourselves, that's kind of what I liked about the show, about the podcast. And,
well, another good show.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
I love you. Love you, man.
I love you guys.
Another good show today.
Here's my shoulder. Here's my shoulder character.
Don't forget, we're going to win the lottery tonight, and we will be building the ultimate Podshed. Can't wait. Can't wait to have
Every time.
It's so stupid.
If we ever need to lighten Justin up and get him to laugh, that's our new keyword.
Yeah, when you guys visit me in the hospital after I tried to commit suicide, you're like, come on, dude. Podshed. All right, guys, we're gonna all go in there. At count 3, we're gonna say Podshed. It's gonna get the fucking tubes out.
I think we have now created a new thing, the Podshed. And
wait, we need a song.
T-shirts.
Podshed. What?
T-shirts.
T-shirts. Podshed. Yeah. Get on that, somebody. Draw us a Podshed.
We got before we keep going there, Andy. I want to Justin play us some dark Halloween music if you can.
All right.
I'm waiting for the Michael Myers theme.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. No, wait, that's too nice. Wait for it.
Well, that was fucking fun. Anyway,
John Carpenter.
We'll do our final rounds here. Tony, we haven't heard from you in a while, so let's get you some final thoughts and last words, bud.
No, it was great. Thanks for still tuning into us and checking us out. So we appreciate it. Just make sure you keep sending your ideas in, please. So we have something to talk about. If you got something specific you want us to hit on, let us know. We'll see what we can find out and see if we can argue about it, since, we all have different opinions on everything. So, yeah, good week. Thanks, guys.
He's got the rabbit sitting there, so I want him to get his last words and thoughts in before the rabbit hops away. So, Dustin, last words and thoughts.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Enjoy trick-or-treating and whatever you do over the weekend. I know a lot of people party and have a good time, but enjoy Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. I know I'll be handing out candy and scaring some kids, hopefully, next Monday night. But then I'm pretty sure we reached 3,000 downloads. Thanks for that, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying the shows. Love every minute of it. Hanging out with, us three idiots, and I guess I don't know what we want to call Andy. He's not the smart guy. I don't know what we want to call him. But
fucking superstar.
Superstar. Anyway, welcome back, Andy. Missed you last week, but can't wait to see you guys next week. Other than that, have a good week.
And Justin, last words and thoughts.
I hope these aren't my last words and thoughts, unless I die.
We're all going to say it's Podshed.
I'll make it important. I'll make it important, though. I'll make it sound important. I hope we win the lottery. And if I do die, that's one less fourth that you guys have to split. And no, full well, I'd be totally fine with it. The other thing I want to say is Happy Halloween as well. I enjoy it. And if you have enough money this year, you have disposable income, be that cool house every kid remembers, and give out the regular size candy bars for as long as you can. And because sometimes some of those bastard kids, they deserve a big candy bar. And now that they're like $2.50 to buy, fuck that shit. And thanks, Tony. And thanks, Dustin. And thanks, Andy. And thanks, Podshed.
Is it just me, or did Tony go evil there while you were talking there? Went straight up red.
Hashtag Podshed. Yeah, great. Another great show. As Justin mentioned, if anybody out there is a good artist and could draw us a Podshed to put on a t-shirt, that'd be freaking awesome. Would love to have a Podshed t-shirt to give away. Check out Developmentally Speaking on YouTube, and you can go to their one that's the live Q&A, and you can get the tour of the Podshed. Because we all need a tour of the Podshed.
Right.
Other than that, enjoy your fun and your Halloween, and until next time, tits up.
I'm here.